Hey, what's up, world? How y'all doing? You doing good? Good to hear. Just recorded another podcast with the homie Talyn Duncan. He's a super cool guy. We had a great conversation. He is a badass drummer. He makes beats. He was just on tour drumming, and he's also like a super badass personal fitness dude. He's a barista. This guy does pretty much everything, and we had a really awesome conversation. Just about a whole range of topics, going from music, religion, drugs, addiction, everything. And it was so awesome. It's probably my favorite podcast so far. No offense if you've been on the podcast. We just had a great time, and hope you guys enjoy it. As always, this podcast is brought to you by No Third Lane. Go to nothirdlane.com. It is a lifestyle brand for clothing. Has a bunch of cool clothes, stickers, super badass logo. 10% of the proceeds go to help give scholarships to Texas students in college. So you know what? Go up there, buy some hoodies, buy some t-shirts. Super badass logo. You're going to love it. That's nothirdlane.com. Check it out, broskies. Thank you very much for listening. Bada bing, bada boom.
Transition time, transition time. Everybody do what you need to do.
Shazam. Hold on, I messed up the headphones already. Shazam.
Got it.
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
it adjusted?
Yeah.
Okay, because I started recording. What's up, everybody? You're listening to Clemente's Corner. I am here with the very special guest, Talyn Duncan.
What up, what up?
Tell the world the corniest joke you can think of.
The corniest joke. Okay, it's a riddle. You ready for this?
Yes.
All right. What has 4 legs and green fur, and if it fell out of a tree, it would kill you?
A leaf with legs.
That's a good guess, but no. The answer we were looking for is a pool table.
Oh.
A pool table, yeah, get it? Green fur and everything?
I bet I could survive it, though.
You probably could. It just hit your shoulders and then, crack.
Yeah.
It's like,
I've been hitting the gym.
yeah, dude, been hitting those deltoids, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Intro time.
Let's go.
Wow. You have 15 monthly listeners. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That's a pretty low number. But I'd like to get some more.
Same.
Yeah, it's crazy because Spotify actually allows you to check and see how many people have listened to your song within the last 24 hours. And I dropped that song, and I think within 48 hours I had 400 something plays or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how to check that, but I know my Spotify numbers aren't doing more.
There you go.
Probably not worth checking.
Dude, it's crazy how the internet works now. I've been watching so many. Metallica?
Yeah.
They were talking about how the internet has completely changed music, sales.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying that they nearly lost, a ton of money because no one was buying records anymore.
Yeah, that makes
and so
sense.
Metallica was, fixing to go out of business.
Out of business.
Yeah, they were fixing to, lose a crap ton of money. The only money that they were going to make was off of doing tours. And so they were used to, getting all this revenue from, record sales and all this kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, it was just,
Yeah,
done.
the game's changed, man.
So crazy.
Toys R Us is out of business.
Toys Dude.
Things ain't the same no more.
Wow. That's crazy. Crazy.
It's crazy. No, but Metallica, I remember they were, suing people for, stealing their music.
What?
Yeah, and it was, the most unrock thing you could do,
Yeah, dude.
There was a time, it was, the early 2000s, where they were, pissed off at their fans for downloading their music illegally, so they just filed a bunch of lawsuits.
Oh, yeah, with what the hell was that?
Napster or something.
Napster, that's what it was. Yeah.
Those are crazy times. I used to have LimeWire
LimeWire, dude.
on this laptop, and it still works, so...
Oh, my God, really?
Yeah, this computer probably has AIDS, but it's still kicking,
Wow.
You got a Magic
You
Johnson
got,
over here.
one of the very few laptops that could actually process this kind of stuff. That's probably worth a pretty penny now.
Probably.
It survived the LimeWire epidemic.
But anyway, that intro was by Talyn Duncan. It's called Victory. Look him up on Spotify. It's Talyn. It's a
Yeah.
unique way to spell it.
It's very neat.
Were you named after the eagle?
No, so funny story. My mom's middle name is Lynn. Lyn.
And your dad's name is Ta.
Well, the funny story. No, the funny story was like my mom was like trying to figure out names that she can incorporate her middle name into. That way, it was like inherited almost, you know. And she was like, "Talyn, that's perfect." And my dad was like, "Oh yeah, we should name his middle name should be Ted." So it'd be Talented Duncan. It'd be freaking retarded. I'm so glad they didn't agree on that.
That would have been awesome,
That
dude.
would have sucked so much ass.
And it would have worked, you know? Because you ended up being talented.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I lucked out on that one, but that would have been very, inconvenient if I
Duncan.
didn't do anything with myself.
Change your Spotify name to Talented Duncan.
Talented Duncan.
And
Dude,
then
that's an awful rap name. That is a terrible rap name. Nobody would follow me.
You could be a magician, though.
A sold out magician.
Introducing Talented Duncan.
God.
Could you imagine, like, Talented Duncan, like, in big letters behind you? Just in lights?
No, I don't even want to think about that. No.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
So you've been doing music a really long time, right?
Yeah, man. I've been doing music for, nearly 13 years now.
Nice. I love when you upload videos of you killing it on the drums.
Yeah, man.
They're so much fun to watch.
Come on. Drums are definitely my passion,
Heck yeah.
But being a solo drummer, it's kind of hard to make the money, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Unless I like do session stuff.
Yeah.
But I lived in Tennessee for a while, and there was a guy that I met who was an incredible drummer. Like this dude, you need to look him up on Instagram. His name is Paul Maybury.
Paul Mayberry. Remember that, folks.
Yeah. The dude is a freaking monster. So he's from Australia, and he was the drummer for Hillsong United. And then he moved here to start his own studio. And one of the guys that I was talking to in Tennessee was like, "Yo, you need to check out Paul. He's got some crazy stuff. He's building a new studio. You need to go work with him." I was like, "All right, cool." So I got his number, and I go hang out with him. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I just need help recording for a little bit." And so I got to actually like sit behind the booth while he was recording. It was incredible. Watching some of the stuff that he does, like he's just a walking metronome. Freaking ridiculous. But
And the metronome is I thought the metronome was a thing that goes doot doot.
yeah. So I mean, you can tell a good drummer by how well he keeps to that.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
And this drummer was like, he's on top of it every single time. Perfect.
That's
All
fun.
of his drums
Oh,
are
yeah.
freaking dope.
I was trying to drum last night. It's really difficult, man. You got to use different sides of your brain. And
Is that
everything.
what was on your Snapchat story?
Yeah. I was singing really badly.
No,
I always
dude,
do.
It was great. I knew exactly what song it was and everything.
Yeah.
What was the song?
It was a Nirvana song, I think. No, it was Sex and Candy. Never mind.
Yeah. That's what it was.
I
Yeah.
have such a terrible singing voice. I think I sound good, and then I
You
hear
should do
myself
that for one of your stand-ups.
sing.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, destroy.
Get up there and just play one chord. And just start singing something.
I'd love to do that at the 806. That'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be really funny. You could actually probably get a pretty good response from it, too.
I probably would. I want to do like fake poetry as well. Yes.
Roses are red, violets are blue. You're all dicks.
And then leave.
And then leave. Yeah, perfect.
That's fun. That's fun stuff. You dropping any more music?
I am, actually. So, there's a guy that I'm working with, Tanner Neese. Shout out to
Oh, I
Tanner.
know him.
Yeah, he's a good rapper.
What's his rapper name? Is it M Grand?
MTN Grand.
MTM Grand.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what the MTN stands for.
Money Team Mayweather.
In. Money Team Mayweather.
Oh wait, I forgot it was an N. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
But he and I actually just finished a song. And so
What's it called?
right now it's called Here I Go Again. But that's ample to change. Like there was one time he and I were working on his first ever EP, and like in my computer they were all saved under different names than what we released them as.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
like the names on the computer were completely different than the names on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And so we're like, "Bro, you need to go listen to this song, da 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 da." And they were like, "Bro, that's not on your EP." And we're like, "Oh, my bad. It's called this now."
That's funny.
But
I feel like that happens.
yeah, I mean, it just comes with it. I
It's
guess.
always interesting how artists decide to name their songs, because some are just random. You know.
Yeah.
Like Tyler the Creator would just have a song called Pancakes, you know? And
Yeah.
it had nothing to do with
Dude, Tyler
pancakes.
the Creator. That dude's crazy.
He is crazy.
That dude's crazy. But yeah, we got some new music coming out. I've got a bunch of solo stuff that I'm working on. I'm trying to stay away from featuring a whole lot of people, just because I'm beginning to get more and more comfortable with like performing in front of a mic
Yeah.
instead of on a drum set.
Nice.
And so I'm trying to, get away from having all the features to where people can hear just me.
Yeah.
So
But how much, I see you have like a whole studio going on.
Yeah.
How much money you invest in that?
I mean, a few grand, no doubt.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
I
It
mean-
looks legit.
Yeah, I've got 3 drum sets. I've got like my studio monitors, my plugins, hardware. Oh yeah, dude, it was running 10,
So
15 grand.
Do you usually like lay down on the drums and then like add it into a hip hop beat?
Nah, see, hip hop is so hard because I grew up playing metal music.
Yeah.
And so, which is kind of cool now because hip hop, like if you listen to trap especially,
Yeah.
it's got some metal influences.
Yeah, it's definitely
You know?
blending. And
Yeah.
definitely like that guy that just got shot.
XX.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
guy was blending
Yeah,
a
he was
lot of
blending
genres
really
together.
well. He was doing really well. Dude, have you seen all the stuff about him not really being dead?
Yeah.
Have you seen some of that?
I mean, I haven't looked into it, but there were other people
They
that were
were-
like, we think Drake might have done the hit, like Drake out of all people. The softest man in hip hop.
Drake is out to get this guy. Key, dude.
Yeah, that guy's a killer.
No, dude. Oh, what the heck? I want to know where these guys got their theories from.
It's hilarious.
It's like, we got the inside scoop. It was
Yeah.
definitely Drake.
I mean, there's a theory every time someone dies. Like
Yeah.
Tupac's still alive, you know.
Dude, he's got a timeshare out in Maui.
Anthony Bourdain was killed by the Clintons. You know,
Oh my God.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
But have you looked into is there like any
No,
thing
so
behind it?
it was crazy because I was like just scrolling through Snapchat, which Snapchat is the most unreliable source for any
Definitely,
news feed.
definitely.
But
Right behind Twitter.
right behind Twitter, like directly behind. They're both in line together. But I was scrolling past and they were like, the body that was found on the scene didn't have some of the facial tattoos
Oh
That-
yeah.
XXX Tentacion has.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we don't know if this is a match or not, but he was declared dead like whenever the ambulance arrived. They were like, yo, he's gone. But I don't even know what the hit was about. Like 3 dudes just ran up on him while
think-
he was in his car.
Yeah, I think they just robbed him. But then I also saw on Snapchat that
Oh, God.
that they had arrested 3 guys already. So they'd found him.
Oh.
One guy fled to another state and they got him.
Oh,
So
jeez.
apparently there were 3 guys involved.
Dang.
But yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah, it does suck. Because, I mean, like, his mom released a statement. It would really suck if he were alive and, like, all these people were mourning him.
Yeah.
And then he'd come back and be like, psych. Dude, everyone would hate him after that.
That would be crazy. I mean, I'd be happy because I probably wouldn't like him as a person because he's, I don't know. I can't sit there and judge him because I don't know
Right.
all the stuff he's been through and what.
Right.
And I know, like, it's easy to hate, like, the mumble rap game and everything.
Right.
But there's a new, like, emo hip hop.
There is,
And
dude.
it's actually kind of cool. Like,
It is kind of cool.
I appreciate it right now.
I'm not gonna say that I'm like a huge fan, but like Lil Peep, he had some some good songs before he
Yeah.
passed away. Like, I mean, the lyrics are kind of bland, but the melodies and like the heavy 808 mixed in with like some of the grunge guitar.
I like-
because I mean, freaking the '90s and the grunge, like Pearl Jam. Oh, dude, that was my jam.
I like the way they're, like, taking risks and experimenting. you know?
Yeah.
That's always cool.
But the clout culture is what's pissing me off right now, dude.
What is that?
Clout culture. Oh my god. It's the guys who have like the facial tattoos, like
Tekashi.
Like, yeah, 6ix9ine. Like, oh my god, don't even get me started about this guy right now.
they're all super
Tekashi,
tatted.
and then like, what are some of the other guys? Trippy Red,
Oh yeah, Trippie
yeah,
Redd.
and then who's the guy who sang Gucci Gang?
Oh, I hate that dude the most.
Dude, I can't stand him.
Had little
oh
something.
my god, yeah, he's a little something.
stank.
Frick, I'm gonna catch so much flack for not remembering his name, but good god, I can't
Eskeeted.
stand. Eskeeted. Yeah.
That's funny.
They're, yeah, I mean, and Cardi B is not necessarily like paired with the clout culture, but I can't stand her as a
I
person.
think she kind of is.
Yeah. Well, she's a little older, and she's
Yeah,
she's
she's-
like 26, 27.
Yeah, she's around. No, she might be like 24, 25. But
Oh, really?
yeah, I think she's either like my age or a year older than me,
Okay.
which kind of is is baffling to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like, we're getting to that age now where people are actually famous and actually rich, and we're like, how did you get there?
Tell me.
Like, give me your secrets, you know?
Yeah, catch me outside, girl.
Dude, did you know that she's a rapper now?
Yeah, I just
This is
watched.
crazy.
I watched one of her music videos because one of my favorite comedians, Theo Vaughn, was in it, and he was in it as like a creeper. It was actually pretty funny. But she ended up like stabbing him in the neck with a syringe and tying him up. Like, there's a movie like that. I forgot
What
it was
the
called.
heck?
But yeah, she wrote like pedophile on his forehead. The song sucked really bad. I just watched it because he was in the video.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, but she's terrible.
She's awful, dude. She's awful. So bad. But, like, anytime that I'm creating music, it's really cool now because, especially with hip-hop artists and, like, trap artists and people who are doing, like, electronic dance music, they're all starting to upload samples to the internet of, like, cool sounds that they make, or cool drum samples, you know, like any of this stuff. And some guys will go in there and throw on like cool melody samples too. And so since I was a drummer, like melodies are a little bit foreign to me, so I'm always trying to find cool sounds like that.
Nice.
So, I'll go on there and like I have an account with an online group called Splice, and it's for music producers, and I'll find like a super cool sound, and all of a sudden it'll just click, and I know like drums that'll go to that beat, and then I'll go in and I'll find like a bass line and like different lead lines and build it off of that sample.
Nice.
You know, because I can't. It's hard for me to go into a project with like just a blank template. Like I need something, like even if it's just a little snare or a little boom bap or something, you know, to work off of.
Is it how do you decide when a beat's done? You know, because I feel like there's so much creativity that can go into it.
There is, dude, and it drives me up the wall sometimes. So like that song Novocaine on my Spotify, I seriously worked on that song for like a month, like just making it. And some people are like, "Yo, I made this song in like 2 days," and it like it's a banger, you know. But I just kept feeling like different things as like I kept progressing and listening to it, and so I decide whenever a song is done, whenever I can listen to it and be like, yeah, I don't hear anything that I want to fix anymore. You know?
That'd be super difficult.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a pain in the ass is what it is.
Especially if you're like a perfectionist type.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I should have added that.
Yep. I mean, you got to give yourself grace as an artist too. Like once you release it, it's done.
Yeah.
It's out there.
You have to.
People are going to think what they want. They're going to say what they want. You just got to kind of let all that be, you know?
Very true.
But
very true.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing though. It's really awesome, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks. It's a lot of fun.
I see you like upload videos to Facebook of you doing some screaming.
Yeah.
You gonna drop any of those songs?
I'm actually gonna do a vocal cover here pretty quick of like some metal music stuff. I have always wanted to be. You know who Dave Grohl is?
Oh yeah,
dude. Dave Grohl's
Legend.
a monster in the
Absolutely.
rock and roll industry. Well, like his first Foo Fighters album was done completely by him.
Really?
Like he did the guitar, the drums, the bass, the vocals, everything. He wrote it all himself.
I believe it.
And I was like, man, that'd be so cool to do that.
What's that song called? That's still my favorite Foo Fighter song.
Dude.
Hello. Everlong.
A freaking
I
Everlong
waited
is so
here
good.
for you.
Freaking amazing song. But he went in there and did all of that stuff himself. And so I've always wanted to do a metal album by myself.
That'd be
And see
insane.
if I can do the screams, the guitars, and the drums.
Heck yeah.
Because I can throw down on some drums. The only part that I don't know is shredding on the guitar.
Yeah.
Like I can't do that.
You could probably pick it up. I believe in you.
Maybe. Like if I had
gone
enough
this
time
far.
for it. That's true. That's true. I'll take that. The little boat of confidence. I like that.
That's what's up, though. That's cool.
But yeah, screaming is like, dude, it's so hard. Like because whenever I was in high school, you remember Eric Burdett?
Yeah.
Yeah. We would go, we went into his warehouse one time and we were like, yo, we're going to start a metal band. And it was like me, Eric, Corey Sampson, and Philip Tiarina.
Nice.
Yeah, all of the high school buddies.
Did you guys perform in like a talent show or anything?
We did our junior year.
Okay, I think I
yeah,
remember
and we
that.
played a song by Nickelback. It was so terrible. It was the most cringy thing ever. And Pedro Garcia was on bass.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I remember Pedro playing something.
For those of you who don't know Pedro, he's this ginormous Hispanic man.
Is he still ginormous?
Oh, he's still ginormous,
I haven't
dude.
seen him in a while.
Yeah. Well, he looked like if you fed a 16-year-old steroids with every breakfast inside of his Wheaties, just a little bit of human growth hormones in there.
Have you talked to him in a while?
No, but his brother comes into the gym a lot.
Nice.
Yeah,
last time I saw him, I think he was like going to the military or something.
Yeah, well, I saw him 7-8 months ago, somewhere in there, and he had gotten back, and he said that he was losing sight in his left eye.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, and so they discharged him, and they were like, you can't serve, we have stipulations for the physical health of our soldiers, and like, if you can't see out of one eye, then your coordination is jacked.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's real bad.
Horrible depth perception.
Yeah, and so he came back, and I think he's working on like a feedlot now or something like that, as like a cattle hand or something. I'm not exactly sure.
I think he's got a child too.
Yeah, he's got a kid. That's awesome. It's crazy now because people, again, our age are like married and have kids.
Yeah.
And I have neither one of those things.
I'm not ready to give
a
up
wife
yet.
Or kids.
You know?
Dude, I think that whenever you're like 20, 21 years old, this is strictly just opinion. I think that is way too soon to get married.
No, I agree.
You don't even know yourself yet, dude.
Exactly.
You've only spent 2 years out of high school.
I was so dumb at 21.
Yeah.
I'm still dumb, but like I'm smarter than I was.
More dumb whenever you're 21 than you are now. Yeah.
Exactly.
I freaking know that.
People that get married out of high school, I'm just like, no.
That's a terrible decision. That is an awful decision.
Wait 5 years.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
There's a guy that I know, like more power to him and his wife because I think they have 2 kids now. But he was 17 when we got married. Like he got consent from his parents and everything. And like it was crazy to me because I was doing like this home group is what they were called with the church. And so it was just a bunch of different people getting together and just like having community time, And like this dude walks in and he's like, "Yo, what's up? My name is da 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 da." I won't mention him on the podcast, but he was like, "My name is da 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 da." I was like, "Oh, that's cool, man. I'm Talyn, I just met him." And so I went over to my friend and I was like, "Hey, who's this guy over here? I've never seen him before." He was like, "Guess how old he is?" I was like, "I don't know, like 25, 26. And he was like, "No, bro, he's 17. And I was like, "What?"
That's
no, crazy. It was insane. I was taking it back to like Bible days,
Yeah.
People getting married whenever they were like 14, 15.
Yeah, if you were single at 15, you were messing up, you know what I mean? Yeah. You don't have any kids yet?
God. Oh, that's crazy to think about. Oh my Lord.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah. It's pretty intense. But I don't know. I'm living. I got a girlfriend now. Yeah. She's pretty dope.
Congratulations.
Yeah. She's currently competing or getting ready to compete for the coffee championship. Shout out to Palace Coffee for hosting it this year.
Oh, Palace Coffee's hosting.
Yeah,
dude.
That's
my favorite coffee shop.
Dude, it's a pretty big deal for them.
No offense, 806 in Nirvana. I forgot
offense.
I perform at 2 coffee shops.
Sorry, guys. Scratch that. We're going to go back and take that one out.
You guys are cool, too.
No, so Palace got in good somehow with the SCA, which is the Specialty Coffee Association.
Oh, yeah, it's like special needs coffee.
Yeah,
like slow coffee.
They got in good with them, and they were like, "Yo, do you want to host like the prelims in Amarillo at your shops?" And of course, the owners were like, "Yeah, hell yeah, let's do it." And so they asked a lot of the baristas if they wanted to compete and whatever. They had like a mocktail competition. That's where you make a cocktail, but instead of using alcohol, you use cold brew.
Interesting.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that they made was super dope. Then they have like a latte art competition. That's sick too.
So they latte art. So that's like you do a design in the coffee cup.
Yeah, it's super cool. So you actually have a dice, right? And each number on the dice stands for a different design. And so like there's a bunch of different designs that you can do with your coffee, right? And so you roll the dice, and if it lands on like a 4, that means you have to pour like a Rosetta or something like that. And whoever pours like the better design wins, right?
Is Rosetta the name of that leaf?
I think so.
Okay.
Like an actual leaf?
No, like that every time, like you posted on Snapchat, like they do that leaf design.
Yeah.
Is that what a Rosetta is?
Yeah. Okay. That's what a Rosetta is.
Because I only know about Rosetta Stone, and I was like, that's not a real
That's
thing.
a little off. That's a little off. Rosetta latte art, man. It's crazy though because we had this guy come in from Onyx Coffee, and
Never heard of that.
I think he's in like I'm not exactly sure where Onyx is from.
Like ONYX?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I can't remember where it's from. But like
He's a big wig.
he's a big wig, dude. Like he's a nationally known like
Sick.
latte artist.
That doesn't even look real.
Right? Freaking crazy.
That is crazy. How do you do that? You do it, right? Like, how do you... Is it
Yeah.
just the way you pour? And it just,
Yeah, so like whenever you've got your steamed milk, right? And you've got your cup with the espresso in it, and you got to like separate the two. You got to create a bunch of distance whenever you pour your milk initially, right? Because the milk's got to shoot down to the bottom of the espresso,
Yeah.
so you keep like that dark texture on the top, right? And then whenever you're ready to do your art, you bring the cups together, and then you do your design like real close together. That way the milk sits on top of that dark texture, and that's how you have the contrast between the two colors.
Nice.
And so you're able to like do whatever fanciness and pull through.
That's
and
beauty.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. It's
Science.
super cool.
Science, bitch.
But yeah, dude, coffee's sick, man. It's got some cool
I
stuff.
do
in there.
love coffee.
Oh, it's so good,
It is great.
so good.
How do you drink your coffee?
I either get a cappuccino or just like a black cup of coffee.
Yeah, I usually do black.
Yeah, I can't do none of the sugary stuff. Probably
Yeah,
'cause
me
I'm,
either.
I'm on a diet, but like,
Really?
yeah, for real.
How's your diet? I was going to ask you about that because I see you with the 6-pack,
Yeah, man,
and I need
dude,
tips.
it's tough. So I met with one of the guys that I work out with, and he was like, "Bro, you got to get on a diet." And I was like, "All right, well, like, I've never been on a diet before. I'm 22 years old. You know,
Yeah.
being in football, you're burning enough calories. You don't necessarily need to go on a diet. If anything, you need to be worrying about
Well,
eating more."
I was the opposite, but I see what you
Yeah,
mean.
but you were a lineman, bro. You were out there kicking ass. So like, I was like, all right, I guess. And so I talked to this guy. His name on Instagram is Joey Swole. It's like a pretty pretentious name. I'm not even gonna lie.
It happens.
But the dude is a monster. I'll pull him up real quick, just so you can see. Just the lats on this guy are like freaking ginormous.
Dude, there's some monsters that I see at Crunch.
Yeah, dude, there are some big dudes over there.
Yeah.
You know,
Is it shredded.com, Rise of Fitness?
Yep.
Yeah, this
So-
dude's back is insane.
He's a freaking monster, right?
Yeah.
And so
he
he-
works out at any time?
No. He's based out of Huntington Beach,
Oh, okay.
California. But so he does coaching and meal prepping and all this kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
so I contacted him and was like, "Hey, man, because I want to eventually compete." And I was like, "Hey, man, I just need some meal prepping advice because, you know, I'm 5'7.5", 5'8", and I got to stack on some mass if I'm going to compete."
What's your
with
body
anybody.
weight?
Currently, I'm at like 184, somewhere in there.
It's impressive.
Yeah,
It's impressive.
it's not bad. It's not bad.
Not at all.
There's some dudes out there who are like 5'6", 5'7", weighing like 210.
I'm not going to lie to you.
215.
When you were talking about pouring things,
Yeah.
I was distracted by your biceps. I zoned out
I'm just gonna be honest.
I zoned out for a couple seconds.
I need you to repeat everything that you said during that. No, so he's got me eating 5 meals a day. One of them is like 16 ounces of egg whites.
I love eggs.
Dude, I freaking love eggs too, but that quantity is just ridiculous.
16 ounces.
16 ounces of egg whites.
So that's a pound
That's
of egg. Right?
Yeah, that's a pound of egg mixed with potatoes and mushrooms, so I can get my carbs from them, right? And so
That's a lot of protein. Do you know how much protein that is?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Because I usually eat like six eggs in one sitting.
Yeah.
With some avocado. It's
I think
delicious.
there's like 6 grams of protein per egg
I love
on
eggs so
average,
much.
6 or 7. So I mean, you're getting what, like 32 grams of protein?
Yeah.
42 grams of protein somewhere in there.
But do you
Yeah.
like count all your macros and everything?
Yeah, that's it's tough.
How many calories you eat a day?
I'm currently trying to shoot for like 5,000.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, you start, like, as soon as I woke up this morning, I was cooking. Like, that's how it goes. I feed my dog, go take a dump,
Yeah.
and I start cooking in that order. And so
Interesting.
that's just kind of like how the day has to start.
How many carbs do you eat a day?
Carbs, I'm actually cutting down carbs right now. So I'm coming off of a really, really, really dirty bulk.
Yeah.
Because some of the guys that I work with, we're strictly training for strength. And so they were like, we don't really care about size and definition right now. We're just going for numbers. And so we would go just like dominate some green chili doubles from Whataburger.
Oh, those are amazing.
They're so good, right?
That's my favorite thing there.
So I'm not exactly sure what the carbs are at right now, just because I was coming off of such an unhealthy amount
Yeah.
to really just focusing on like potatoes and mushrooms and carrots and like healthier versions of that. Yeah, dude, because freaking pasta and bread is like my worst enemy.
Oh, it is delicious.
It's so good. So good. But I'm trying to shoot for, like, I know my protein intake. I'm going for 1.5 grams of protein per body weight. So I used to have that. I don't know what that number is right off the top of my head.
I eat a ton of protein.
Really?
I eat a lot of steak.
Dude.
Because I did a carnivore diet in February.
A carnivore diet?
Yeah, where you just eat only meat.
Ooh.
I just wanted to try it. It was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And that's why I eat steaks a lot now. Because I was like, that was great. Like,
that was fantastic. Yeah. Does it, like, how did your digestive system take all this?
Oh,
that's intense
I got the runs quite a bit.
Your body's like, we have no fiber. There is no fiber in any of this.
yeah. That was that did happen. But that was because I did keto for a while too. And it messed with my digestive system for a bit. But I lost 30 pounds on it, so that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like I have more energy like when I do low carb. But when I do low carb, my digestive system's like, dude.
Yeah.
I just got to find a happy medium.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a fan of the keto diet, man. Not at all. So, like, these guys who are taking their carb intake down to, like, a banana or an apple a day is, like, killing their brains.
Really?
Yeah, because your brain actually needs carbohydrates in order to function. It acts as oil to a machine, right? And if you don't have carbs, then it causes
it can't run off fat.
It can't run off fats.
No?
It can't run off fats and proteins. Like it needs those carbohydrates, and so that it can have the energy to functionally like process thought. Because I was talking to one of my friends. He's actually my worship pastor. I was like, bro, like I don't know if you should be doing this, right? And he was like, yeah, you're right. I have been feeling kind of cloudy headed the past few days.
Well, people write that off as the keto flu, and they'll say you'll get
The
over
keto
that.
flu?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
That's
Like your first 3 days of adjusting from running off.
He's
carbs.
been on this thing for like 3 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I felt
Shrug.
groggy for like 2 days, and then it was all good.
Really?
Yeah, then my energy levels went up. It was really cool, but
Interesting.
I don't know. I might have went retarded. So
That explains why the comedy business took off.
we're not laughing with you. We're laughing at you.
Jeez, dude. Some of these
That's
guys
crazy.
who are doing the keto, like they're making it a lifestyle. It's not just like a temporary diet fix. Like it is a lifestyle now.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. I don't do traditional keto though. I'm super lazy on it.
Really?
Yeah, because like I'll go eat chips, you know, because I love chips, dude,
Need them Doritos.
and I love potatoes too, and those are good fats, you know. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll just eat a sweet potato.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
or good carbs. I mean, not good fats. Good carbs.
Yeah. They're good carbs. I'm not a fan of sweet potatoes, but what I used to do, like, so my stepdad actually showed me this. He just pulled out a potato, like out of the bag, right?
Yeah.
And I thought he went like full Russian on me because he just started nomming on it. And he was like, "Nah, man, run the potato under some water, cut it up, and then put a little bit of salt on it." He's like, "It's the perfect snack. It's just like raw chips." And I tried it, and it was actually super freaking good.
What was it again?
It was just a potato. Like he just cut it up, made sure and like washed them, you know.
Yeah, no butter or anything.
No butter, nothing. Just a little bit of salt, like a little pinch of salt.
Yeah.
I was just like nommed on those things for a solid hour. And I was
Nice.
like, oh my gosh,
That's awesome.
that's pretty dope. But yeah, man, diets suck.
Diets do suck.
Yeah, it's like you can go kick your ass in the gym. Like that's the easy part
Yeah.
because it only
Definitely.
lasts an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But then the diet is
Yeah.
all the time in between that, you know?
When I wasn't dieting, it took so long to see results.
Really?
But yeah, as soon as I started eating right, I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't even realize
It's
it.
intense. Yep.
It's real cool. It's real cool.
Having to give up Subway sucks because they got the drive-through now. You can just go, beep boop whatever you want.
They got really good salads too.
Really?
Since I wasn't eating bread for the longest time, I just go get a salad
Really?
and they hook it up. Yeah,
Come on now.
get every vegetable on it.
Get some flatbread, dude, with some get some egg and steak on there.
Oh wow, that sounds amazing.
That's a great post-workout meal, my man. Whew. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Definitely.
So you've become quite the social justice warrior on Facebook. So let's cut up some politics right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We're gonna jump into this right now. Okay, so you've posted quite a bit of stuff. Sorry, I'm messing up the headphones.
No, you're good.
Quite a bit of stuff about like the Trump campaign, and also with this whole equal rights movement. What do you think about the whole immigration policy that has been put in place?
Oh, see, that's complicated because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
What's the equal rights campaign?
So that's like the LGBT community.
Oh,
they're
okay.
going for
Yeah,
equal
yeah.
rights, and like the women's rights movement is really surfacing now. And then we've also got people saying that pedophiles are like should be treated equally.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, like that entire thing. That's
Yeah,
going
it's
on.
getting out of hand.
Yeah.
I think there's good thoughts behind it, but then it gets so one-sided. It gets so extreme that now pedophiles are like, "Hey, look at us," you know? Like,
Yeah. It's like no.
But no, that immigration thing. Obviously, nobody wants to separate kids.
Right.
But anytime I mention the Trump administration, it's usually a joke because I don't take things that seriously.
Yeah.
But no, but there's good and bad because there's kids that are being sex trafficked, and you gotta find ways to like get them away from people that aren't their actual parents.
Right.
Because that shit does happen.
Right.
So I guess I'm in the middle right there.
Okay.
But no, I don't think we should have open borders. I think that'd be extreme chaos.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I don't know. It's hard. Immigration's hard because you don't want to be the bad guy, but then you kind of have to be the bad guy if you're trying to protect your country.
Yeah, and I don't think it's being a bad guy if you have the economic structure of the country that you're in charge of in mind.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, yes, like it's a known fact just being in Texas with farmland all around us that there are a lot of Hispanic workers who will do the work that white people are unwilling to do,
Definitely.
And I don't know, being raised on a farm, that's just like kind of how I saw it. And I had this respect and admiration for that because they were willing to work themselves much harder than we were. And that just kind of was a slap in the face to our own little, like, the way that we were raised in this like first world, structure to where like, oh, I don't want to go out and get in the sun today and dig a hole, like I need to in order to feed my family. But these guys are like, no, I will dig a fucking hole, and I don't give a shit how long it takes, And so I admire that, but at the same time, like, I also have a problem with like someone trying to come in and say that we have equal right to being in the same home that you call your home. And so
Exactly.
I mean, it is a difficult topic to kind of debate over.
And California thinks every illegal immigrant should be able to vote, and it's just like, what?
Yeah,
What's the point of being a citizen?
Why? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I read that. No, it was a CNN like interview, and the dude interviewing her just had this look of astoundment on his face. I was like, "What are you trying to say right now?" But that I don't know what to think about that. California's crazy.
California's
have a
absolutely
lot
crazy.
of
Straws are illegal.
Oh my god.
No, but the immigrant thing, like Doug Stanhope, a really famous comedian, he made a good point. He said, if you're worried about an illegal immigrant coming and stealing your job, you're a loser. Like that's
right. Yeah.
You have such a horrible job that literally anyone who doesn't even speak your language can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's your fault.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I agree with that. And I feel the same way about people marching for $15 minimum wage. Like, if you're mad about minimum wage, you're a loser. Like, I'm sorry, but
give it to him straight. Come on.
I haven't made minimum wage since I was 16 years old. Like, my first job was minimum wage, and then I immediately got a 25-cent raise. Well, not immediately, like within 6 months, within a year.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I was 16. Like
Right.
I wasn't 30 years old.
Yeah, I'm not 30 years old. working the drive-thru at McDonald's.
Exactly.
You know, but I don't know. That's a hard thing to talk about with such like a victimized culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's the problem too.
it is the problem. I think everyone is a victim. Everyone thinks that they're a victim and that
Yeah.
they are entitled to some sort of compensation.
Exactly.
And so that's what really sucks about. That's actually why I wrote that song "Victory." And I don't want to come off as like preachy or whatever,
Yeah.
but I was having like my own quiet time. And I was like praying. I was like, God, I'm depressed. I don't feel like doing music. I
Yeah.
don't feel like working. I don't feel like getting up in the morning. You know, like I just kind of hit a low point. And I heard God say, "It was like you need to proclaim victory, not a victimized spirit."
Absolutely.
So I was like, all right, fine. Like, and so he actually like birthed that song in that moment, you
Yeah.
know, in this moment where I could have just thrown in the towel and been like, oh yeah, I need depression medication because
Yeah.
I'm unhappy with my
And
life
it's
now.
so easy to do that.
Yeah, it's so easy to do that. Anyone could take that route if
Yeah.
they wanted to, but like I just kind of, God was like, no, you're gonna pick yourself up by the bootstraps and like we're gonna go proclaim victory over this situation.
Definitely. But having that mindset is offensive.
Yeah.
In 2018.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is.
You're stepping on people's toes when you say work hard and you can be successful.
Yeah, because it negates. I think to people, I think this is the issue. I think to people, it actually negates the value of their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you are so controlled by the emotions in your life,
Yeah.
then you live a very whimsical, like unsteady lifestyle.
Absolutely.
You know, because one day you're on like the top, the next day you're on the bottom, you know? And you just got to kind of have this mentality of, okay, I'm going to be level headed. Today might suck ass.
Mm-hmm.
Today might be dope. But I'm going to live prepared for whatever outcome and say, you know, I think even in like the Christian world, you know, where people are supposed to be like, oh, we're going to submit to God. We're just going to like set all this at his feet. But I also think that God's like, nah, bruh, like I put a lot of potential in you and you're just like throwing it back to me. Like take that potential and use it.
That's a good point, because sometimes I wonder, like, when I'm striving like to be successful, I'm like, am I going against God? Because I'm not
No.
giving it up to him.
Nah, they're a great,
Because I think about that a lot.
yeah, one of the lyrics that there's a lyric that I have memorized from this band called Silent Planet. I refer to them all the time
Are they pretty
because
quiet?
they're actually a metal band, which is pretty dope. And in one of their songs, it's like this like really big climactic moment, and they have metal music that's almost like cinematic. It makes you feel stuff, you know.
Oh, nice.
Instead of like, oh, we're just gonna thrash and like go as hard as we can and just like talk about politics. They're like, no, we're actually gonna talk about like Native Americans and like we're gonna talk about the stuff that nobody talks about,
That's
and
awesome.
we're actually gonna create an emotion out of these songs. And so in one of their songs, they're talking about the bombing of, I think it was Hiroshima. And they're in the song, they're actually asking God for forgiveness for the way that we killed all these people.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's this really profound thought that not a whole lot of people have. Like, not a whole lot of people are walking down the street like, oh, I should ask God for forgiveness for the way that my nation killed these people 70
Yeah.
years ago, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so in the song, though, one of the guys yells, we were made to create, you know? And so, like, if you think of Adam and Eve, they're the only two people, the only two in all of existence and all of creation that had free will, you know, and they could choose to create or to, you know, step out of the garden,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. And so I think that's a huge testimony to the way that Christians should live. It's like, we don't need to live in fear and just be like stuck in a church. You know, like go out and make something. Go out and do the things that make you happy, because I mean, if you honestly believe in God, then you're going to know that like he birthed those things in you.
That's true.
And like it's just like that parable of the guys with the talents, you know? So it's like one guy had one talent, and I guess that was a measurement of like currency back in the day. And I think it's funny now that it's called a talent.
Yeah.
Just because that can mean so many things in this day and age. One guy had 5 talents and the other guy had 10 talents. And so the master was like, yo, I'm going away. Y'all need to take care of my currency, all of my income. And the guy with the 1 talents went and buried it. He was like, oh, I'm going to keep this safe. You know, that way whenever my master comes back, he can have it back. The guy with the 5 talents went out and invested it and got 5 more back.
Yeah.
The guy with the 10 talents went and invested it and got 10 more back. And the master came back and he was like, yo, you two, good job. Y'all invested my stuff. You who buried that stuff, get out of my sight. You know, he actually rebuked that guy who just sat on his potential and all of his currency. So I think, man, like if you're going out and trying to better yourself, trying to get past this minimum wage that we were talking about, you know, like I think you're not only doing yourself a favor, but you're doing like the Christian world a favor. Like go make something of yourself and don't be a victim.
And just like the community in general, you know?
Yeah.
Like I agree with that. And that's a good parable, you know? The crazy thing about the parables is they can like, there's so many layers to the Bible, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, you can apply that so many ways and it means so many different things.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just,
for sure.
that is good stuff though.
It's good stuff. I mean, I don't want to come off as like preachy or anything like that, especially in like the rap culture. You know, I don't want to be like the equivalent of no offense to anybody. This just isn't my
Equivalent
forte.
of Russ.
I don't want to be definitely not Russ. Of like Lecrae or Trip Lee, you know, those guys that are just like they're solely out there to preach the gospel.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Like,
I don't know.
keep doing you.
I feel like Lecrae's moving more towards the middle now.
Yeah, he kind of is, right?
He had that.
He had that song with Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah, and he had a whole album that was produced by. It was one big DJ.
Oh, was Mike Will made it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think Mike Will.
And
made
it was like
Oh no, it was Metro Boomin.
something to do with trap music. It was in the title.
Yeah, Metro Boomin did that entire album with him.
Yeah, now I gotta look it up.
Oh, his song Hammer Time. You heard that song?
I actually haven't listened to him recently.
Dude, it's actually pretty lit. I'm not even gonna lie.
He's got some great jams.
He does have some pretty good jams.
Let the Trap Say Amen. That was the name of it. Zaytoven.
Let the Trap Say Amen.
Zaytoven.
Dude, that's Future's producer, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder what that must have been like to have a character like Future in the studio, like mumbling, tripping off codeine and Xanax, and then you get somebody like Lecrae in that same studio doing a completely different album.
That is crazy. I mean, I'm sure he works with a lot of people.
You're probably right.
He's probably the biggest DJ right now. I mean, top 5 maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Dude, Drake's DJ, or his producer, 40. Oh my God, this dude is a freaking genius.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
There are a lot of the production. The production's always great with Drake, but I can't get into Drake anymore, man. He's just like he's too much.
Yeah,
It's just like,
yeah, I agree.
we get it. You're emotional and you have 84 girlfriends. Like,
I just want to know who Kiki is and if he really loves Drake or if she really loves Drake.
I heard she was like dancing outside her car and she got ran over.
What?
No, I'm just playing.
Oh my God. I was like, what? That just gives so much more depth to that song right now.
What
Are you
if?
riding? Oh my gosh. That's funny. That sucks. Have you ever seen The Office? Have you ever watched The Office?
Office you speak? Yeah, I've seen The Office.
Okay. Have you seen the one where Michael Scott is looking at the chair catalog and he sees the girl like sitting on the chair and he's like, that's going to be my wife. And they try and go find her. And it turns out that she's dead. Like, I imagine that same dilemma just like being replayed back in Drake's head.
I
And that's who
remember
Kiki
that.
is.
Maybe. And then Drake had a song about Courtney from Hooters on Peach Street. And they actually went and found a Courtney from Hooters on Peach Street in some town. They were like, that's her. Like,
What?
really? They find the women he calls out in his music.
What the heck?
It's pretty crazy.
I want to know this dude's body count. Like, how many people has
I
this
don't-
guy slept
I
with?
don't want to know.
That's probably a
If it's
disgusting
if
amount.
it's less than 300, I'm not impressed. You know?
Golly. I mean, surely he got some numbers while he was with Lil Wayne. Mm-hmm. Oh, back whenever they were the dynamic duo in the rap industry.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Do you know who Chris D'Elia is?
I recognize that name.
He's a comedian with like long black hair.
Yeah.
But he had a bit where he was making fun of Drake, and he's like, Drake tries to make us feel sorry for him, but he's bragging at the same time. He's like, how am I supposed to get my dick hard when this girl's blowing me, but I had sex with another girl last night? That's literally how his music is.
Yeah.
Like, I lost my Rolex.
So true. Oh, that's funny. Dude, we can talk about rap culture all day long. Everybody in it. We got so many characters in it. So many legends. So much talent too. Like
That's
raw
very
talent.
true.
Like Denzel Curry. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
He just released a new album.
I haven't got onto it yet, but I've heard a couple songs from him that I liked.
Dude, that entire album is a masterpiece.
He has that one song where he's like, "I am the one."
Yep. There were so many memes made out of that. And back whenever Vine was a thing, so many Vines had that freaking that song in it. That was such a funny song. Dude, he played that song live at Woo-Ha this like past month, I think. Oh my gosh. You should have seen this crowd.
Were you there?
No, I wish I was.
Where's Woo-Ha at?
I think it was in like South Carolina or something.
Never
like
heard of that one.
Woo-Ha Music
Woo-Ha.
Festival. I'm not exactly sure where it's at, honestly. But so like it's an outdoor festival, right? And they've got all these artists coming out, and Denzel Curry came out, and he hadn't released any of his new music yet, but he saved that song for like the very last song.
Uh-huh.
And so he was already getting the crowd hyped. I mean, it was intense. But as soon as that song came on, it looked like, you know, those like dust twisters that we used to have around Canyon all the time. It looked like that, but like a tornado. That's on this crowd of just like dust and like circle and like this giant mosh pit. That's another thing. Mosh pits at a rap show. I never would have thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, that's this new generation.
That was like
rap,
a
man.
common thing.
Yeah.
Like Travis Scott is making some crazy mosh pits happen.
He's making some crazy music.
Yeah, he is.
He's been supposed to drop an album for like 2 years.
Astro World? Is that what it's
everyone
called or
keeps
something
talking
like
about that. I like his music a lot though. He reminds me of Kid Cudi. He like does the same type of harmonies. He's
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah. Dude, I like Kid Cudi.
Yeah, he's probably one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Someone told me that his new album that came out actually resembled a lot of his old stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. The one with Kanye. I love Kanye too. Kanye gets a lot of crap, but I've always been a Kanye fan. I can't ever turn my back on Kanye.
The way he markets himself is brilliant.
Very true.
Everybody's going to go listen to his stuff because of how much like he's just so notorious in the scene, you know. He just markets himself so well, and people are able to be like, "Yo, did you see that thing Kanye did?"
And he's doing fashion, and it's like it's not even impressive, but people are buying it. You know what I mean? Like $1,000 jeans with holes in them. I'm in.
Wow. Have you heard that skit by Bo Burnham about Kanye?
I don't think so.
Oh, Bo Burnham is so funny.
I love that guy.
But he does a skit, and it's like his final. It's his finale to his like headliner show. Is him making fun of Kanye. You need to go watch it. It's actually incredible.
I love Bo Burnham. He has that song. Where it's like my whole family thinks I'm gay.
Yeah,
I love that song so much.
That dude's crazy talented. Talk about talent, dude. Like that dude can play the piano, sing, and make jokes at the same time.
He was doing that at like 17 on YouTube.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He was selling out shows at 19.
Golly. Wow. Like, can you imagine peaking at 19?
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
it's
would
cool
suck.
to do it because I feel like his joke's going to live forever, but like he'll probably never be in that spot again. You know?
Right.
So,
I mean, I'm totally okay with holding out until I'm 30 and then peaking then. That way, after that, I could be looking back and be like, wow, that was time, well spent. Instead of making one thing that just is like outrageously famous for like maybe 6 months.
you know who peaked the best? Kevin Hart.
Dude, you right.
He made his 15 minutes last.
For freaking ever. He's still going off of those 15
Yeah,
minutes.
he's in every movie.
Oh my God. Him and The Rock.
Him and The Rock, yeah.
The Rock has come out with like 4 movies this year.
Yeah, there was a meme on Facebook where they were like, "Hey, Rock, we have a movie idea," and he's like, "I'll do it." It's like, we haven't told you what it is. I'll do that one too.
The guy's ridiculous. And he's a monster too. He's like, what, 45?
Is he? I have no idea.
How old is The Rock?
He's gonna run for president in 2020.
Is he really?
Yeah, and from what I've heard, he's
Are
like,
you kidding
From what
me?
I heard, he's like fairly conservative, so I don't know how that's gonna go. Can you imagine the media attacking The Rock?
He's 46 years old.
Can you imagine CNN being like talking shit on The Rock? What'd you say?
I just want to see him go into a press conference like he used to go into WWE.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, can you smell
pie eating.
That dude's a monster. For how old he is, he still works so hard in the gym.
He does. It's crazy.
He's shredded up. Like, I mean, some of the bodybuilders are like, they're facing this issue whenever they put on a lot of mass at once. Their skin, they actually start to get stretch marks. And so, like, this is just from, like, The Rock maintaining and still putting on muscle. The bro's got, like, freaking striations and stretch marks all down his pecs and his arms. You're like, good God, my dude, when are you going to stop?
He's a monster, man.
He's the next Chuck Norris.
I was worried he was going to explode for like 5 years. He's good.
It's like,
He's still alive. He's going to make 10 more Fast and Furious movies.
oh, my God.
Everyone else is going to drop off. It's just going to be The Rock and Furious. Not even Fast anymore.
It's just The Rock, and he's pissed.
Did you see that picture of him on Instagram when his daughter was born? And he was like laying in the hospital gurney. It's like, dude, did you ask your wife to get out of bed so you could take a picture with your daughter?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that, actually. That's so funny.
It was funny. I'm still curious. I want to find out.
We'll never know what happened. Where did she go? Did she go to the bathroom? Like, what happened?
Like, it made it seem like he just birthed a child.
He's like, hey, babe,
Which
get out.
He
This is for
probably could.
Instagram.
I wouldn't even be surprised if The Rock
my
was like,
gosh.
yeah, I've birthed like 6 babies.
Oh, my gosh.
They're all bodybuilders.
I gave birth to C.T. Fletcher. Do you know who C.T. Fletcher is?
Yeah.
That
I'm
dude,
so impressed with that guy.
he's still kicking, man. He's still kicking, even after his heart surgery. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. I've been following him ever since he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about having to go into heart surgery.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love his mentality.
Yeah, his mentality is something out of this world.
It's still your motherfucking set.
Yeah, yeah, man. I wanted to get that tattooed on me. My girlfriend was like, really? You're going to have the F word forever tattooed on your body?
That's a good point.
I was like, yeah, you're right.
I definitely want to get like a beanie at least, or like a t-shirt.
Yeah, or some socks. The socks
Iron
are sick,
Addicts.
too.
Yeah, that
Iron
guy's
Addicts.
a beast. That's so impressive. He was like doing push-ups like 3 days after his heart surgery.
This is ridiculous, dude.
The fact he even survived the heart surgery is impressive.
Yeah, whenever he flatlined like 3 times.
Yeah, he
3
died.
times on the operating
He
table.
died several times.
Like, that's no joke. That kind of stuff. And then he said, what was crazy too, he was talking about where he had to sit upright for 6 months. Like 6 months of sitting.
He couldn't lay down?
He couldn't lay down.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Because whatever reason, it would like pull too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like after they had stitched him up or something like that.
Yeah.
It would pull too much whenever he laid down. And so he had to sit upright. And he had to have his son like help him change and out of his clothes and like all this kind of stuff.
His son's pretty swole too.
Yeah,
I don't know how
he
many
is.
sons he has, but
I
the
think
ones I've seen
I
are
think he's
pretty
got
big.
3, but his son Samson's a freaking.
Of course his name's Samson.
Yeah, of course it is. You better believe that dude's a monster too. Golly, he was pressing like 315 pounds on bench press for
Jeez.
pause reps. He'd come down and he'd hold it for 5 seconds and then press up, and then he'd
Dang.
hold it on his chest. Like, can you imagine that weight like just sitting on your
Yeah.
diaphragm for 5 seconds?
That's intense, man.
Freaking ridiculous.
I've seen somebody do that at Crunch. I forgot that dude's name. Real big black guy. What's his name? He used to play running back at WT.
Oh, really?
But he's like a trainer now at Crunch.
Nice.
And he does those. He does 3 plates, throws them on there, pauses, reps it out. He does it like 5 times. I'm just like,
That's
jeez.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
One of the guys that works at Palace, his name is Sterling. What's up, Sterling? Shout out. He's competing for some bodybuilding stuff too, but he's put on a ton of weight, and he works out over at Crunch. You've probably seen him up there. He works out with that Jaden guy, the Be Your Own Hero
Okay.
fitness company. Yeah.
That guy's ripped as hell.
Yeah, he is. He competed too. I think he won.
Yeah, I just friended him on or I followed him on Instagram.
Yeah.
I saw.
He's got some pretty good motivational stuff out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is cool. It's cool. Those people motivate me a lot.
Yeah.
I follow a lot of fitness stuff
Yeah.
and some
Yeah.
fitness models. Hey.
Hey, dude, it's crazy how it's almost like demoralized the way that the fitness industry has come along. So it used to be just bodybuilding, Arnold Schwarzenegger at the Mecca, just like
Yeah.
tearing shit up, going in there, lifting heavy weights, getting swole, like going in there demolishing stuff. And then now it's slowly come back down into like men's physique and like just dudes in board shorts with six packs. You know,
Yeah.
That's how the bodybuilding industry has like kind of tapered off into. But then like now the girls, have you seen any of like the women's bodybuilding stuff?
Yeah.
Do you know who Dana Bailey is?
I do not.
Oh my
I will
lord,
follow
dude.
her right now, though.
she is a monster. I'm gonna
What's her last name?
Dana Bailey. Like look at oh my,
Oh, yeah, very muscular.
extremely, like she's got shoulder caps that are bigger than mine. Her traps are like just freaking cut up and everything.
I'm really into like the fit legs and booty. It's a
Oh,
great
really?
look. It's a great look.
It's just an overall appealing sight.
It is. It is.
I don't know what it is about like the way that males look at females. And it's like, wow, the legs on this woman are very appealing.
Legs are my favorite.
Why legs though? That's
I don't
so
know.
strange.
I
Like,
can't
have you thought
even-
about that?
I can't
Why
even describe
legs?
it. Like some guys are into feet and weird stuff like that. You know? I like
Did you see the toes on that broad? Like,
I like the bigger thighs. I don't know. Maybe
Really?
It's because I just like to grab them. I don't know what it is. With permission.
with
I mean-
permission, of course, consensual grabbing. I got my girlfriend to start working out with me, and so it's been very interesting.
That is
'cause
awesome.
Being a trainer, I want to get in your head. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, come on, let's like lift heavy weight. Let's do this, you know.
Yeah.
And it's been hard to kind of like find the line between like, oh yeah, you're my girlfriend,
I bet,
and like
yeah.
I'm gonna have to pay for this afterwards if I piss you
Yeah,
off.
gotta
you know?
separate that.
Yeah, and so we've had to separate that, but she's been killing it, dude.
That's awesome.
It's been like there's nothing more motivating than seeing like a female who's not afraid to do some of the same exercises that are typically like more quote unquote male dominated.
That is
you
cool.
know. So she got in there and did squats, like 5 sets of 5. Like got down there with some pretty freaking heavy weight too.
Nice.
Like she did 135 for 5 sets of 5.
That's awesome.
Just like repped it, and I was like, whoa,
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goals, man.
goals, man, come on now.
I gotta get me a gym woman.
There you go, there you go. That way you can start like meal prepping together and everything.
Yeah.
Get
Keep
that
me in line.
protein. Come on now. Keep the goals.
Keep my brain functioning.
All them carbs, dude. Come on. Come on. That's funny.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had some pretty intense stories happen since I was training. I made a lot of people throw up. I made,
Really?
Yeah. Jarrett Roberts.
I haven't heard him.
I don't mean, Jarrett, I love you, dog. I don't
Working
mean
out
to
with
throw
you was a lot of fun, though. You
Dude.
showed me some new stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Here's the thing about training is that with the way that science and the medical field is just like so rapidly progressing right now, if you're doing the same thing as a trainer for more than 2 years, then you've become stagnant.
What do you mean
in
the
your
same
own
thing?
program. Like
Same type of diet?
same type of diet, same type of exercises, the routine, everything. Like if you're doing all of that for more than a year and a half, I'd say,
Yeah.
then you haven't studied enough.
Really?
Because there's constantly more to learn, more studying happening, more articles being written from, very, very well-known doctors and physical therapists who are coming out with all this different stuff that
Yeah,
are
that's
like,
true.
it's insane.
It
So
is.
like, if you're not progressing as a trainer, then you're basically like taking all these steps backwards,
Yeah, that makes sense. How often do you switch up your type of lifts, like your variations?
So one of my favorite ways to kind of live by whenever I'm doing any type of lifts is based off of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Whenever he was saying, you got to come in and shock the muscles.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, if you come in and do the same thing over and over and over again, your body's just going to become, basically numb to the workout that you're doing. It's going to be like, yeah, I know you're going to do pull-ups now. Yeah, I know you're going to do bench press now. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I do, I love deadlifts and I love squats, and I do those like 3 times a week.
Really?
Yeah, so should I find other ways to like
Yeah,
like
you should.
just doing like, what if I, instead of doing like the barbell, if I did dumbbells when I deadlifted, would that make a difference? to
Yeah,
that?
so whenever you're doing deadlift, like it's basically a full body exercise because I mean you're keeping
That's why I love it so much.
the lumbar part of your back, you're keeping that straight. That's activated whenever you're pulling up. Whenever you're driving through with your hips, you're getting glute action. Whenever you're pulling up like that, it's stressing everything through the shoulders and the chest. And so it's basically a full body workout. If you wanted to, you could do that same motion with kettlebells or dumbbells, and you'd get probably, since it's a lighter weight, you'd isolate just the hamstrings and the glutes that way. You could do what's this guy call him? He calls him the Bulgarian split. It's a good squat. It's a really, really good squat exercise. You stick one leg back like on a step or on a box.
Okay, yeah, I did some of those with Will Tolliver one day.
Yeah, man. And that's like super good isolation on the quad, right there above the knee. But yeah, if you start nitpicking into these little exercises that'll isolate muscle groups instead of going for those big primary mover exercises, like bench press.
Yeah.
I mean, you're hitting triceps, shoulders, even into like some of the rhomboids whenever you're doing the presses like that, and especially your chest. But typically what I'll do for a bench press day or a chest day, I'll start on the bench press because that is one exercise that I want to see consistent growth in.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
And since whenever you're able to push yourself in that exercise and adequately like change up the rep to volume ratio, doing stuff like that, doing the different tempos and everything like that. Oh man, I messed up the headphones again. Whenever you start switching up stuff like that, that's whenever you're going to see a lot of new adaptations, new growth and strength and size and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely need to switch up my leg workouts because I do the same thing every time.
Yeah, dude, I'd start like switching up rep to volume ratios.
Yeah.
So instead of doing a pyramid every day to where it's like a set of 12, a set of 10, and a set of 8, go in there and do 4 sets of 15.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. Go do 4 sets of 15 and then take off all the weight except like one plate on each side and just do a burnout as many times.
I'd try to do that.
Yeah.
Burnouts are good.
Do that, and then the next week do like 5 sets of 5. Switch all that up. You're going to start like getting into like different hip flexor motions, and like you're going to feel it in places that you didn't feel it before.
Yeah, full body days, I would do 5 sets of 5, and then other days I would do like 2 sets of 8, 2 sets of 6. And then I recently was doing 12, 10, 8. I just don't know. Do you switch it up like every week?
I'll do like every couple of weeks.
Every couple of weeks, okay.
Yeah. Unless I'm training specifically for like strength. So let's say if I were going into a powerlifting meet in the next 3 months, I got to start training now to get all my numbers up. I would stick to 5 sets of 5. I would stick to that, and I would increase my weight every time. Every 2 weeks, I'd probably do a max.
Nice.
I mean, trying to just see where my numbers are
Is
at.
the max just 1 time or 2 times? Or?
Yeah, go for a 1 rep maximum.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do off of that 1 rep maximum, let's say, just for shits and giggles, let's say I do 405 pounds on a squat. That next week, I want to do my 5 sets of 5 at around 70, 75%.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Or up into 80% if I'm feeling really hardcore. And then do that for 2 weeks. All right, let's come back. Let's do my 1 rep max again. Hopefully we're getting stronger. Let's take it up to 425 this time. Let's say I got it good with good form. We're going to go 80, 85% off of that, and just like keep progressing, keeping track of what your numbers are at. But not a whole lot of bodybuilders are doing that anymore. They're mainly focusing on mind to muscle connection.
I was keeping track of like my strength with each thing, but then I kind of fell off. I was doing it for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And I saw growth, because once you start writing it down and everything, you start noticing more.
Yeah, keeping track and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because other than that, you're just kind of going whatever feels right,
Yeah, it's kind of aimless,
Yeah.
Like, I understand for some people, they just need to go and like relieve stress. Like, totally, go do that, But if your goal is to start like seeing progress, then like you need to jump into it. You can't just like dabble in it,
Definitely.
Because if you just dabble in it, you're not going to be fully committed, and then you may see growth for a couple of weeks, and then you're just like, man, that was fun.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna go run on the treadmill for 20 minutes now.
And if you're not tracking, it's way easier to fall off, I feel like.
Oh yeah. That's what sucks about seeing like some of the new members come into the gym, because I'm sitting there every day.
Yeah.
And I see all these new members come in who sign the contract agreement, and I don't know if Crunch has a contract or anything like that.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, that's a blessing.
Shout out to Crunch.
That's a blessing.
I just hope they go 24/7 soon, because the one in Lubbock's 24/7.
Is it really?
So I don't know what they're waiting on.
Oh man,
Because I'd go work out at 1 a.m.
dude, they should freaking make a Crunch in Canyon, because I don't want to drive all that way.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
I'd
That's
go
why I
in there
moved to
with some
Amarillo.
Oh my gosh, to get that Amarillo lifestyle, huh?
Get that crunch in.
But I seen all these guys come in and they signed a 2-year agreement. Like they're
Yeah.
saying, okay, for 2 years I'll pay this much money a month. And then that's the first and only time that I see them.
Yeah, that's crazy,
That
man.
money's just getting drafted out. They're just raking it in.
That's so crazy.
Oh man.
I was that way for a long time, because I was like, why buy a gym membership? I'm never going to go.
Yeah,
But then it gets addicting. You
Yeah.
know? It really does.
it really does. It does. It's probably one of the better addictions. Oh, here's a topic of conversation. Do you think that addiction is a disease?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh man, here we
I
go.
was just thinking about this today. All these people, everybody on Facebook's like, shut up, addiction's not a disease. It's like, I'm pretty sure more people are saying that than the people they're saying the opposite.
Yeah.
I don't think that many people think it's a disease. I mean, maybe. But like alcoholism, if it's a drug, no. I think it's just we release endorphins when we find things that are pleasurable.
Yeah.
And we want to have that again. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a disease. I think it's being a human being, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
But it can lead to a disease, I guess.
Oh, totally.
I guess it depends on your definition of a disease.
Have you heard of the guy from the Motley Crue who was such an alcoholic that the doctors told him, they're like, you cannot quit drinking, because if you quit drinking, you will die.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they told Amy Winehouse. Like,
Oh yeah. Huh?
it's easier to get off like meth than it is alcohol.
That's insane.
It
They
is
said that
insane.
about cigarettes too, huh?
I think so. But yeah, you can get off meth if you just stop smoking meth, but you can't get off alcohol. You know, like
Yeah.
I guess you can slowly. But yeah, like alcoholics that go to jail, someone told me like they have to give them alcohol so they don't die.
What?
Isn't that crazy, man? I don't understand it.
I don't either. But that sounds like a disease to me.
Yeah, I mean, alcohol is like a hardcore drug, but it's like socially acceptable.
That's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then yet we can't smoke weed. Nah, I don't regularly smoke weed.
Yeah.
I haven't smoked in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there's kind of a taboo kind of karma that comes with it.
Yeah.
A kind of energy that comes with it.
Definitely.
Of like,
Then you're a stoner.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you smoke weed, then you're a stoner and you're irresponsible. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I don't really want that stigma in my life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it sounds and seems a lot safer than alcohol.
It is. It definitely is. And it has health benefits.
That's true.
And I mean,
Bro, did you hear about Green Gorilla getting raided?
yeah, for CBD oil.
For CBD oil.
You can't even get high off CBD oil.
No.
It gives
I wonder if like the owners of Green Gorilla got tipped off, and the owner like took all the stuff to his house,
maybe, I don't know.
because they said they confiscated like $100,000 worth of stuff from his house.
Yeah, that's just the government saying, "Oh, you're making money and we don't like it." That's pretty much what that is. Unless I'm missing something, but that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, because they said that they got CBD oil from some sort of provider, and it's completely legal. And the DEA was like, "Nah, you can't have this."
dude, there's a Kratom place right down my street. And I just recently learned about Kratom,
Yeah,
and I was like,
I
"Wow,
messed with Kratom for a little bit.
how was it?"
Interesting. So since it's from what I heard, it was all natural. And so, but the way that they give it to you is really, really sketchy. So they give it to you in a unmarked vial that's usually like tan or silver. Okay. And in these vials, you've got your pills, right?
Yeah.
And so, one of my friends, and she was this girl was my girlfriend at the time, was doing Kratom, and she was like, "You should try it. Like, it's all natural." And I was like, you know,
That's what they say about everything.
yeah, that's what they say about everything. But like, I tried it, and I was currently on like a really, really heavy carb diet. And so I took 6 pills. Didn't do anything. Like, I'm just chilling there. Did nothing. And then I did 12 pills. Like, I just completely doubled the dosage right there. And still, like, maybe a little bit. But then I, like, took maybe 2 or 3 more because I was getting scared getting up into 15 pills. You know,
Yeah.
that just sounds like a pill head.
Pill popper.
Oh,
Sounds like Future.
exactly. And so I did that, and all of a sudden it was just like this immense body high came over me, and a little bit of paranoia too. And I think the paranoia may have been just me because I hate being out of my head.
Yeah.
Hate it.
That sounds like a weed edible.
Yeah, similar. You get this cooling body high, but then like I became like dizzy and nauseous. And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's normal. Just eat something and it'll go away."
Right.
And like I think I ate like some French fries or something, and sure enough, it went away. But yeah, it's a really weird thing the way that it's kind of got like it's legal, but if you go buy it somewhere, they say don't talk about it.
Really?
Yeah,
So it didn't like give you any type of energy, like you didn't have any like positive side effects?
not really.
Really?
I just became like relaxed and tired.
Because I wanted to go try it and see like if they gave me energy or anything. I didn't know.
There are certain kinds that'll like I guess will give you energy.
But I don't want to have to take 18 pills.
Yeah, no.
That's
no.
crazy.
No, dude. Whenever I cut my fingers off, I had to take tramadol.
Wait, how'd you cut your fingers
You
off?
didn't? I thought we talked about this, dude.
Did we?
Oh, we have so much more to talk. So
Are you missing the tips of your fingers?
yeah, I'm missing the tips of for those of you who can't see, my middle finger and my ring finger on my right hand. So I was a welder for about 1.5 years whenever I moved back to Canyon from Tennessee. And so...
Because you're the only 10 I see.
Oh, come on now. My granddad and my uncle both owned a shop, right? And so they were outsourcing a lot of their material for... they were doing contract work for Owens Corning. And so Owens Corning was giving us so much stuff to do, like mass orders of like all these different window covers and like crazy safety equipment stuff. And so luckily, like for my granddad, that was a lot of really good income. So with that additional income, they started adding to the shop, right? And so one day they were like, "Hey, we want you to build a giant rack for all of our spare metal that's just sitting out in the yard outside." And they called it the yard. It was just like a giant, like asphalt paved, like square. They were like, "We want to sort through all that, get all our material sorted. That way, if we ever need it, we can just go out there, pick it, and start." I was like, "All right, cool." So I was building this rack that's seriously like 18, 20 feet tall, and it's got all these different arms coming off of it. Well, I needed some brackets to weld to the arms, and so we've got this this metal press that we used to cut some of our flat bar. And I was reaching around the press, and I couldn't see where my hand was. I was reaching around it to get like the drop piece because I was the only one in the shop. For some reason, my uncle was gone, and the owner of Palace was in the shop whenever this happened.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. My granddad was working on his motorcycle.
Were you working at Palace already?
No.
Okay,
I wasn't
why
working at Palace yet.
That's why he hired you. He's like, I saw you lose
He's
your
like,
fingers.
"Dude,
I feel bad.
Yeah, exactly. But he was there, and I felt this like pinch on the top of my fingers, and I yanked my hand out as quick as I could, but it wasn't fast enough. It pulled the glove off of my hand, right? And so I was like, initially I was just like, dang, that really hurt. And you know, whenever you like, you like fling your hand around whenever you pinch it or something like that, whenever you pinch your finger, I'm doing that, and blood is just going everywhere. Like it's going all over my clothes, the machine, and I look down and I can see the 2 bones just sticking out of these 2 fingers. And so I was like, oh God. Ran up to my granddad and the owner of Palace. Shout out Patrick Burns. What's up, dog? And I was just like, we have to go to the ER now. And I show him my fingers. And Patrick just dips out.
Really?
He just runs out of the shop. And my granddad was like, oh God. And so we like,
Thanks, Patrick.
we run, like we're hauling butt to like one of the ER stations. We get there and they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to take your whole finger.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, I looked at the guy and I was like, no, I'm a drummer. You can't do that.
Why was that the first option? Like, what?
They said that they were gonna have to cut it off at the knuckle because they weren't sure if they could save like the rest of my finger.
Thanks for being optimistic.
Yeah. And I looked at the guy. I was like, no, You can't, dude. I'm a drummer. You cannot do that. I won't let you. I will live the rest of my life with exposed bone. I don't care. And he was like, all right, hold on. Because by this time, I'm in shock. They're pumping me full of morphine.
I can't believe he jumps to such bold conclusions.
I know. Like, this is a life-changing moment.
You broke your leg. We're gonna have to cut it off immediately. Like,
sorry, bro. You're done. You're like a horse. I'm sorry. We got to put you down. But he came back with another guy. And the other guy, like, by this time, I'm super drugged. He looks at my finger, and he's like, nah, I can save it. But we're going to have to give you shots into those fingers to numb every nerve in there. Because you have more nerve endings per square inch in your fingertip than almost anywhere else in your body.
Really?
Yeah. I learned that while I was in there. They're like, we have to numb every single one of those nerves so that you don't feel a thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like, any tactile stuff you can feel,
Bet there's more on your penis.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the only other place. It says one of the most. But yeah, so he came in there and like he gave me the shots into my fingers that are already like exposed bone. Mm-hmm. That was the worst experience of my life. And then I shit you not, he came in with DeWalt stainless steel hedge clippers. Like the little handheld hedge clippers.
Oh man.
Comes in and just goes clip, clip, cuts off the tip of those two bones right there.
He went and called his gardener. Like,
he just was like, hold up, bro. We got to do some pruning. Came back.
And you couldn't feel that?
No, I couldn't feel any of it. I watched the entire thing happen. And so he cut them off, sewed it back up, and then it took me like another 3 months to get the fingernails back.
Man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They didn't cut it off, though.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to still have these two fingers. Honestly.
That must have been that other guy's first day, Like,
I was like, I don't know, man. I guess we just take them off. But a funny story about tramadol, I was sitting at my house because I got like a week off of work, because I couldn't bend my fingers. I had to go to physical therapy to get range of motion back. Mm-hmm. And I'm drugged up off of morphine, and my my good friend, he'll know who he is whenever he listens to this. My good friend comes over. He's like, hey, dude, do you want to watch some anime? And I was like, I never watch anime. He was like, cool, we're going to watch Berserk. I was like, all right, whatever. I'm super high, crazy high. And he comes into my room with this little DVD and he throws it in. And all of a sudden, like, all of the colors are like moving and shifting in ways that like it's really hard to explain.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But yeah, like in anime, it's very vivid colors and motions and everything. So all the like I'm getting sucked into this freaking show. Well, the last episode of that show, your protagonist, like the good guy, has to go into hell to fight demons and like to save his friends, but all of his friends end up dying. And it's like this terrible, gruesome scene, and I'm watching this like tripping balls.
Did you feel like you were in it?
Dude, I felt like the colors were like coming after me. Like for whatever reason, purple was like scaring the living hell out of me. Oh, it was absolutely awful.
And tramadol, you said?
Tramadol. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go cut off the tips of my fingers so I can get tramadol.
You got to tell me your experience. We'll bond over this later.
We're going to do a tramadol podcast.
Oh, it was rough. Rough stuff. But yeah. So that's how I cut off my fingers.
Man. That sounds like some doctor prescribed acid.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh. Have you ever done acid?
I have done
Have
acid.
You really?
I did it once, yeah.
Wow.
I don't think I got like the full effect of it.
Really?
Because have you heard of the show Broad City? It's like two really funny girls on Comedy Central.
I haven't.
Anyway, all I did was like lay down and watch Broad City. I watched every episode on Hulu, and then my TV was like almost a liquid substance. Like it looked like it was about to melt.
Really?
It looked like it was about to fall apart.
Like a bubble?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And the colors were really vivid. I tried to play video games, but like I couldn't function well enough to do that. Because I was like, I'm gonna play a scary video game and try to trip out, but then I was like, I can't move my hands the way I want to right now, so I'm
oh my gosh,
just gonna chill.
Wow.
And
That's
then
strange.
What was funny is I still lived with Diego back then, and the night before that, he got like retarded drunk.
Yeah.
And for some reason got in the tub with his shoes on. So there was like dirt in the tub. So I went to go pee, and I turned to look at the tub, and like the dirt marks from the shoes looked like snakes that were moving. I
Whoa.
was just like, ah.
Were you freaking out?
That's the thing. It's like I was like conscious enough to know that it wasn't really happening.
Oh,
That's
right,
why I think
right.
like I probably didn't get
Because
it.
they come as like tabs, right?
Yeah,
Did
like
you do like a full tab?
little pieces of cotton. I did 2 of them.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, people tell me that like they do 1 and it's crazy. So I was like, I probably got
wait.
some average acid, you know,
Average acid.
or below average. I don't know. I don't know how. It
Below
works.
average acid.
But yeah, I've only done it once. It lasted a long time. So
Yeah, I heard the high off of that thing lasts like 18 hours.
mine was like 8, but it still sucks because I think a good number would be like 3 hours. That way I can be a normal person again.
Yeah.
But like you're like 5 hours and you're like, geez, am I like?
Yeah, is this going to stop?
It does. It sucks after a while, but I mean, it's a fun experience, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might do it again sometime. I definitely don't want to do it like, you know, close together or often.
Yeah,
So like
for
it
sure.
definitely does something to your brain.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The type of stuff that happens to your brain whenever you do that, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All the different chemicals you're letting loose.
I don't even want to know.
Ooh.
I don't even want to know.
Oof, dang. Dude, I've never done any hard drugs in my life. Thank God.
That's good. That's good.
Knock on wood.
I do want to do DMT. That sounds really cool.
I've heard some crazy stories about DMT.
I've heard a lot about it.
And like what's even crazier is that like some people who do DMT, they see the same being.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this?
I know they like see angels or demons or something. Like
Yeah.
from what I understand is like you're opening up like into another dimension basically.
Yeah.
And so that's why it interests me. And it's only like 15 minutes. So you just lay down for 15 minutes and you're just like, whoa, I can't
Yeah.
believe I just saw, you know, whatever.
Yeah, but is it like stoner time where 15 minutes lasts like 3 hours?
I don't know. It's a good question. I know it's literally 15 minutes. So
Really? Wow. That's so crazy
But
because
yeah.
like
you basically leave your body. Like you go out of your body experience. And it has something to do with the pineal gland. I've looked a little bit into that. And it's just
Yeah.
like they say it's the eye of your soul. That thing in your brain that kind of gives you spirituality or
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah.
And then the DMT is actually present in like all forms of life, like plants and everything.
Right.
I think it's something to do with that fight or flight response that gets released. Like
Yeah. And then I've heard a lot of people say that all of your DMT storage is released whenever you are actually about to die.
Mhm.
So whenever you're actually passing away, that like it comes over your body to kind of soothe you
yeah,
as you're passing away, which is do DMT during your lifetime. That storage in your body is going to be really low. So whenever you die, you're actually going to feel a lot more.
oh snap!
Yeah. Might want to take that into consideration, bro.
I wonder if they just say that because you can't really
I
prove
don't
that.
know. You
Like,
can't. Yeah, I don't know if it's really quantifiable. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you feel right now? As this dude passing away.
I'd feel a lot better if I didn't do DMT when I was 16.
That was a bad choice. We messed up.
That is interesting though.
Yeah. I've only heard a few people talk about DMT. I actually talked to, of all people, my worship pastor about this.
Mm-hmm.
He and I were just like talking and speculating about what it might be because, like, you know, anytime that someone who is of the Christian faith, they're really inclined to throw judgment on that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
You know, especially drug abuse. You know, even like the vocalist of Under Oath, they just resurfaced. They had this big reunion tour a couple years ago, but the vocalist came back and he was like, "I'm not a Christian anymore." You know why? Because whenever I was addicted to meth, no Christians like were helping me. They all judged me and they kicked me off of tours. They said that I was the reason that Under Oath broke up, and like, anyways, he made this big deal about it. And so, you know, with this speculation about addiction being a disease, or, you know, this drug abuse being a choice that leads to a disease, you know, it's a weird line to kind of toe in the church world.
Yeah.
You know, but I am fascinated about opening up to new dimensions.
Yeah, me too.
You know, actual like scientific dimensions.
Yeah.
You know, because like scientists recently discovered that there are at least 11 dimensions in our existence throughout
Really?
the galaxy. Yeah, by some weird spectral, like they're watching the way that light moves in space, and there are these different alterations that happen, and they're like, they've narrowed it down to being, different dimensions. And I don't know how they do that. I'm not a physicist, but some crazy stuff like that. So like, can you imagine what kind of craziness is out there in 7 dimensions that we've never experienced?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there has to be something beyond this,
Right.
Because we wouldn't be we wouldn't be capable of being spiritual at all if there wasn't something
Right.
beyond our dimensions.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
But yeah, that's what I thought acid would be like, because in my mind I was like, oh, the Beatles did acid. It's this enlightenment drug. And then you see all the people that do acid, and you're just like, oh, these guys are dumb. Like, like it kind of ruined it for me. I was like, oh, maybe it's not all I thought it would be.
Oh, interesting stuff. The way that the brain works too is kind of crazy. So like one thing that I heard about DMT is that you have these pathways in your brains, in your brain, the way that thoughts travel regularly. So if you're thinking of a map, you're going to take the same road to get home all the time.
Yeah.
Well, your brain's kind of the same way, to where like these thoughts are always going to go to like a certain destination just because you've trained them that way.
Makes sense.
So what happens is those pathways create ruts in the brain, regular activity, where it just is constantly flowing there, and it's just eventually going to wear like pathways, So what happens is whenever DMT comes in, your endorphins are actually released, and it fills those pathways to where your thoughts don't go to a regular destination anymore.
Yeah.
They go all over the place.
And that's what scared me, is you're not in control of your thoughts.
No. You are totally out of control. These thoughts are just like wandering around. Like
it was crazy because when I was on acid, like I feel like I couldn't pray.
Really?
Yeah. Ooh. And that bothered me a lot. That bothered me a lot.
That's scary.
Yeah, it was.
That sounds like a really spiritual deal.
You lose control of yourself. Ooh. And that's always scary. That's why I don't really like smoking weed by myself, because it's like, I don't know, I get the paranoia, I get the anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't like not being in control.
Yeah, totally.
That's the scariest thing about drugs.
Yeah. I have this theory that it helped me understand whenever I was getting off of, because I used to smoke a lot, I used to drink a lot with some of my high school buddies. And so whenever I caught nothing but like judgment and condemnation from like my church friends and even some of my family, and they were doing it to look after me.
Yeah.
They were like, no, do not do this. Like, this is a sin,
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this a sin though? Why is this a sin? And it came down to like this simple kind of ideology where if you are out of your conscious state, you are unable to participate in an intimate relationship with God, because you are no longer conscious of your emotions and your surroundings and all this kind of stuff. So it creates a separation. That chemical imbalance starts to create this separation between you and we'll just call it like your spiritual nature. Instead, you begin to direct your spiritual nature towards the exploration of other different chemicals within your brain.
Wow.
So whenever you create that separation, that's what God calls a sin, because he sent Jesus to die on the cross. Whenever we're doing that, we're neglecting that power, and we're neglecting that connection. And it's not necessarily like, oh, there's a sin, let's count that as another tally. You smoked weed today, shame on you. It's like hey man, don't do this because I want to talk to you, and it's really hard for me to talk to you whenever your ears are plugged.
Makes sense, man. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah, instead of just being like, why is weed bad? Because I told you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think weed has benefits. I think it was put here for a purpose.
Yeah.
I don't think it was probably a good thing to make it as strong as possible.
We went Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa on this stuff.
But in its natural state, it had, healing capabilities.
Yeah,
I mean, it still does, but regular weed didn't get you stupid high,
Right.
It was medicine.
Right. And it was even used as like ointments and balms and all sorts of different stuff. And so what baffles me is like the Native Americans, I think that these dudes were so connected with God Like a lot of Christians say that the Native Americans went to hell just because they were savage people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like in the movies, they're always like these crazy savages that are out there to get you.
Mormons say that God turned the Native Americans brown. I forgot what they said because they killed Jesus or something. It was
What?
it was super crazy. Some super crazy thought.
What? Oh my God, that's incredible.
But now their way of life is really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't know. Were they did like polytheist, like several gods? Because they would like pray to trees and everything, right? But I'm sure it varies among tribes.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I don't think they were necessarily polytheists because they would pray for rain.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't pray to a rain god. You know, at least I know of a couple of tribes that would do that. But, like, I honestly think that they were very, very close to God.
Yeah, and they were close to nature as well.
Yeah.
Which is
Which
is God.
Yeah, which is the creation of God. So,
Yeah.
I mean, God is definitely going to be in that, you know, somehow, shape, or form.
His imprints on everything.
Yeah. But, like, it makes me wonder, you know? Like, I don't want to see anybody go to hell. Like, honestly.
Oh, of
you
course
know?
not.
And that's why I don't tell people to go to hell. You know, because that's just like that's a really hard thing in my life. You know, to be like, hey, go serve eternity where it sucks. No, like I'm not gonna say that to anybody just because I don't know where they're at in their life,
Mm-hmm.
and like I think a lot of Christians should live by that same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have no idea what happened to this dude whenever he was 10 years old, or you know anything like
definitely.
that. So like just take it easy, have some grace. But I am so intrigued by the Native American people because like they didn't have anybody to come and preach to them.
Mm-hmm.
They probably didn't know who Jesus was because they were on the opposite side of the world. Like what was God's plan for the Native American people?
Yeah.
What purpose did these dudes serve? And like, oh, crazy stuff.
And their way of life is like polar opposite
Oh,
of
yeah.
what we're doing now.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like they were in small communities. They just looked out for each other, you know.
Yeah.
It was really cool. Really cool. Really interesting. I need to look in that too.
Yeah. I don't know.
Lots of buffaloes.
Lots of buffaloes. Buff Nation, am I right?
And they did some psychedelics as well. you
Yeah,
know,
they
so-
did. With what was that? What was that drug? Paleo?
or peyote.
Peyote. Yeah. Not the paleo
Yeah,
diet.
paleo
Peyote. No, peyote. I've heard that stuff is crazy. I've done very little research about peyote, but I've heard that
too.
it is nuts.
I think it's like is that what's found in cactus? Oh no, there's another drug called mescaline. I think that one's found there's a drug that's found in the cactus that you
In a
can use.
cactus? Really? Like
Yeah.
in the little like berry stuff?
I don't even know.
Oh, that's crazy. Because
I
we
would look more into
we
it.
took an outdoor exploration class, and they were like, "Yeah, if you ever need water, come to a cactus and get the little berry on top and eat it, because there's water in there."
Yeah, it's probably a different part then.
Okay, I'm like they're feeding me drugs in like the 5th grade.
I'm really hydrated, but I don't know who I am.
Crazy stuff.
But
Crazy stuff.
that is crazy because like psychedelic drugs are like occur in nature, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like what was that purpose, you know?
Right.
Maybe that's what Moses was on when he saw a burning bush, you know? I don't know.
I've heard a lot of theories about the
Jacob's ladder.
the encounter with Moses and Jacob. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then like Jacob wrestling with God, like.
Oh yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, wrestling with like God, like that's
Yeah.
intense. You know
Yeah.
what kind of moves were these dudes doing
And
on each
then-
other?
and then winning almost. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the crazy part because it even says in scripture, it's like whenever the Lord saw that he could not prevail over him,
Yeah. And
it's like that's whenever he dislocated his hip. So like God took a cheap shot. Is what he did. He was like,
Jacob,
"Suck
I didn't know
up,
you could
Bob."
do this. Been practicing.
Dude, the entire thing, I base a lot of my theology off of Jacob. Like,
Israel.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Israel and
It's a
his
great
brother,
story.
his brother Esau,
Esau, yeah.
the way he stole his birthright and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you-
That's what's crazy is the birthright. It never goes to the firstborn. Like that whole trend, it always goes to someone else, you know?
yeah.
That's crazy to me. And then Esau is basically like what Islam came from. That bloodline.
Yeah, similar. Well, that was Abraham. Abraham took a wife that, well, he took one of his like servant, his handmaiden or something like that. He was married, and his wife was like, no, have, like, make her give birth.
Yeah, with his
have sex with her
concubine.
Yeah, so that she can give birth to your son. That's how this prophecy is going to be fulfilled. And God was like, no, that's not how that's happening. And that's where Ishmael came from. And Ishmael birthed the Muslim nation. Yeah,
and then what's crazy is the story of Jacob when he dresses up like Esau to get the blessing.
Yeah. Because
lying.
Jacob in Hebrew means heel snatcher.
Yeah. Because when he was born, he was holding on.
He was grabbing onto his heel. Yeah. So it's like his entire life, he's going after things that aren't his, and he's just like conning his way through life. And then God sees him, and he's like, "You're not going to be a heel snatcher anymore. I'm going to call you Israel," and that means like Prince of God. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That God can come in and like change your identity just like that. Completely rewrite who you are.
Absolutely, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's super dope. But I don't know. I feel like the Christian community has been getting a terrible rep for like the past 10 years. With Westboro Baptist coming into the scene.
Oh, yeah.
Really screwing a lot of things up.
People hate Chick-fil-A.
People hate Chick-fil-A, dude. For no reason, too. Their food is so good. Just because they're not open on Sundays. Well, did you hear that they raised minimum wage to like $15 an hour?
Yeah, something like that.
That's nuts.
That is cool. That is
super dope, because you could go in there and say "my pleasure" as much as you can and get paid $15 an hour.
And I fully support that because it's not government mandated. Like if you own a business and you want to do that, hats off to you. Go do it.
It was crazy because the owners were like, somebody was protesting, and they were like, y'all don't do $15 an hour. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll do it. And they like totally called their bluff. And the people who were protesting were like, oh, shit.
Such a great company.
Yeah. Fantastic company.
They only hate them because they're Christian and they believe in traditional marriage. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I forgot about that.
They didn't say anything bad against gay. They're not homophobic. They didn't bash anybody.
No.
They just said, I believe in the traditional marriage.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
Such a small thing to get kind of caught up over too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like if you can't have a stance on anything because then you must hate a group.
Right. That's like the owners of Chick-fil-A were so like they've always been Christian.
Yeah,
so like you can't expect them to be like they're gonna give up their core beliefs and their core values just because times are changing.
Exactly, it's ridiculous.
But
redonkulous.
God, there's that whole victim mentality again. That whole thing.
100%.
100%. But I mean,
you got to join a group. You got to get angry at someone else who doesn't like your group. You got to put on a vagina hat and march.
My gosh. Oh my gosh. Dude, did you ever see, I laughed so hard at this video. These women went and stood naked in the streets of New York and screamed. That's all they did. Mm-hmm. They just got out there completely like stark naked and screamed in the streets. And it was like equal rights, whatever. And it was the most hilarious thing I'd ever seen.
What does that mean, equal rights?
That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying, dude.
Nobody's clarifying anything.
No. They're like, we need equal pay. Well, okay, show me a case where you're not getting paid equally.
Well, there isn't any.
Yeah, there's not any. Well, okay, we're being we don't believe in like the men being the head of the household anymore. We don't believe in men being the financial provider over the household anymore. It's like, okay, well, we've already established that you are not suffering from any sort of lesser pay. Mm-hmm. So go be the head of the household if you want.
That's
like,
a personal thing.
That's a personal thing.
That's your household.
Because honestly, like my girlfriend is fixing to go study to get into the social work field. She was going into the social work field to be like a psychologist. Mm-hmm. So obviously, like psychologists make a lot of money.
Super interesting.
She
should try DMT. No, just
fine. But now she's going back to school to be a dietitian, and they also make really good money. And so, like, I'm personally totally okay with her chasing her dreams.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you make more money than me at the end of the day, I don't really care.
I prefer that.
I don't really care. Yeah.
Go make the money.
Like, I don't care.
I'll stay at home and clean. I'm good. Let's rock it. Let's rock it together.
Come on. But I don't know, man. The whole equal rights, dude, and it's crazy. Black Lives Matter movement happened, and then, well, given in that scenario, there was a ton of evidence saying that there was still, some sort of prejudice nature in the states.
Yeah, I mean,
with like law enforcement and all that.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, is like the crappy cops get plastered all over the news.
Yeah.
And then you never hear about, look at how great these cops were today,
Right, right.
Look at all the lives they saved
right
in the past 24 hours.
Oh God.
And that's the thing too, is like it's not like a lot of black guys are getting killed by the cops, but then vice versa, a lot of cops are getting assassinated just in the streets, just for being a cop.
Just for simply wearing a uniform.
They're getting executed.
Yeah.
And that's horrible.
That is horrific, is what it is.
It's like Dallas. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
When they were live streaming on Facebook. That blew my mind.
Golly. Here's another thing that was crazy. I think it was like last March or something like that. Last year, there was an uprising happening in Venezuela that no media source was covering.
Oh yeah, Venezuela, freaking! You got to pay thousands of dollars for a glass of water over there right now.
Yeah, and the entire almost the entire nation was rebelling up against the political leaders because one guy was refusing to step down from office. It was basically just holding a mutiny against the rest of the office. I'm not exactly sure how their politics work over there, but their president was refusing to come out of office, and so he was going in and just doing whatever he wanted.
Vladimir Putin's doing that. He's just served like 3 terms.
Ooh. Good old Vlad.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he just changed the title, but maintained the presidency. He just called himself something else.
Yeah. He sounds like he'd be a vampire.
He really does. He looks like he could be a vampire.
He looks like he could, man. Golly. And the whole thing with Trump siding with him, part of me wants to believe that Trump is hey, I'm not going to piss this guy off on air where everyone could see it because he's probably got a lot of nuclear weapons.
He definitely does.
Or, there's something that we don't know that happened in that exchange.
Yeah, I don't know. That kind of threw me off that he's willing to talk shit on anyone, and then he's like...
Except for Vlad.
He seems like an alright guy.
Yeah.
But then the next day he's like, Iran, watch your damn mouth.
Yeah, yeah. The dude, he's just a freaking loose cannon.
He really is. It's super entertaining. He's my favorite president ever. Not for any serious reasons. I just love watching him talk.
Okay, so a lot of people are saying that out of his
trash,
there wasn't a whole lot accomplished.
It really was.
That I saw on via any sort of news platform.
He was into pop culture, and that's what people liked him.
Yeah, maybe.
And he was black.
Well, which stood for segregation and the anti-segregation kind of stuff. But Trump has been getting it done.
Yeah,
since he's been in office.
I like his policies, and people will try to turn it into negative. They're saying, "Oh, he has so many policies that are against people of color. He has so many policies that are against LGBT." And it's name one, please. Yeah. Please tell me what they are, and I'll agree with you.
I'll do my own research. Yeah.
If you show me what they are, then I agree. Yeah. But there's not any.
There's really not. Which it makes it easier for me as a Republican to stand behind that. Just because also he doesn't really care what the media thinks.
Yeah.
He's just gonna go do what he wants.
No, I respect him in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I voted for him. I don't consider myself a Republican anymore, just because the Republicans, for 8 years, they talked about, we're gonna spend less money. We would never spend that much money, and their budget comes out, and just you guys are fake. I hate all. You're Democrats with an elephant on your shirt. That's all you are. That's all you are.
Dang! Shots fired. Bipartisan jokes.
But no, I lean conservative on most issues.
Same.
Just not to the extreme extent. I don't like the idea that's if you're a Republican, you have to believe this, and you have to stand on this line.
Right.
You have to die for this issue.
Yeah. Ooh, to die for. That's a big word to use there.
Yeah.
To die for this issue.
But it's really, it's so divided right now. It's crazy.
It really is. I haven't ever seen, granted, I've only been alive 23 years, but I have never seen America this divided before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
9/11 happened, and everyone was like, all right, we're going to stand united. You know?
I mean, it's like
there was that whole movement that happened.
it's like we need another tragedy to get back together, which is sad.
Well, yeah, that's a terrible thing. I would never wish that.
But it's kind of the truth.
Yeah. But, I mean...
And I don't even know. Like, if another 9/11 happened, would we even band together, or would we just keep talking shit?
Yeah.
Like,
would
I don't
we
even
fall
know.
apart after that? That'd be the breaking point. And it's hard to say, man, because the way that things are looking right now is pretty shady.
Yeah, very.
I'm not even going to lie.
Very shady.
Maybe the next presidency holds some more hope for unity.
I don't think we can ever have a normal president.
You're probably right.
I think Barack was the last one.
It went... No. I think Clinton was the last one.
But like no more career politicians. It's either going to be actors or businessmen or Oprah. Like,
oh man, I heard that Oprah was running. Is she running this next
I
president?
don't think she is.
Oh.
They made that up. They were like, I think it was I forgot what media channel it was, but they were like, nothing but respect for our next president.
Wow. We'll see how that holds up, especially if it's The Rock. If Dwayne Johnson comes into there,
It'd be interesting.
it'd be a show. For
I just
sure.
really hope it's not Bernie Sanders, man.
Oh, he'll be dead by then.
I mean, you want to talk about messing up the economy? That guy would throw us into the toilet immediately. Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not very knowledgeable about the economic structure of our nation,
Yeah.
but I just hope that our leader is.
I don't know, man. I mean, he's done great things. He's done some questionable things, but he's done a lot of good things as far as business, economy stuff. But then again, I don't know how much the president is really contributes to the economy, you know? Because I feel like the stock market, it's going to go up and down.
Right.
So really, I don't know. I feel like he's going to take credit for it, and then when it goes bad, he's gonna look bad.
Right, but there are ways to play the stocks,
Yeah, it's true. But
to be able to, and whenever you're dealing with world leaders like that, like there are ways to negotiate and
like the tariffs with Europe paid off.
Yeah.
We just gotta hope China.
Oh God.
Just gotta outlast China.
Oh God.
I don't know. I don't even know who has a better economy. I feel like China might be better than us right now.
Yeah, but they're it's very interesting because I believe it's China. You're not allowed to conceal carry. And so their economic structure may be wonderful, but their social structure is just terrible.
Oh yeah, the citizens are like being
God
treated
awful.
like shit.
God awful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't even know which one I would trade for.
Yeah.
'Cause at least here I'm able to voice my own opinion and
Yeah, definitely.
not get
I'm
executed.
pretty sure religion's still illegal over there.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of Christians,
No,
but
no,
they gotta
they're-
meet in basements.
Who was it?
They gotta meet in the dark.
Yeah. Kim Jong-un opened up the borders to Christians now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Dennis Rodman is doing wonders, man.
I could not believe that dude was like Kim Jong-un's right-hand man.
Yeah.
That's such a crazy comparison. Like whenever you see the two of them together.
And then seeing him being interviewed on CNN.
Right?
And crying and being like, Trump gave me a chance. And CNN's just like, we don't even know.
Dennis,
we don't even
what
know where
are
to
you
go
doing?
from here.
You did too many drugs. You did too many drugs and somehow ended up at a party with Kim
Okay,
Jong-un.
we seem to be having technical difficulties.
We're just going to cut streaming right now. Cut the live feed. Golly. That's so crazy.
Yeah, we're in a crazy place, man.
We really are as a nation.
It's like we fell into a video game.
No joke. Like what? I don't even want to play this video game anymore.
No.
I'll go back. Okay, what video games are you playing? Are you gamer?
Not too much anymore. I saw Fallout 76 was coming, so I went and started playing Fallout 4 again.
Yeah.
But then I can't just play Fallout 4. Like if I start playing, my whole day becomes that. And
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I need to stop.
Yeah.
Because
I feel that.
I get sucked into that universe,
I feel that.
and then I can't leave.
And you're like, oh God.
And then even when I'm done, I'm just like, I can't wait to get back home and start.
Yeah, and
start
keep playing
killing
again.
ants.
Yeah. Jeez. That's how I got to be with Rainbow Six Siege.
That game's fun.
Oh, it's so fun. And then, I'll admit it, I'm gonna catch flack for this one. Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah.
Ooh.
I got into Fortnite for a bit. I only play it at like a friend's house
Yeah.
because I don't care that much. But it's fun. Have you played PUBG?
I have once or twice.
I like it more.
Really?
Yeah, just because the aspect of having to like, carry having a certain load and having to find ammo.
Yeah.
And the vehicles. I think you can drive vehicles in Fortnite now.
Yeah. We've got golf carts and shopping carts.
The concept itself is amazing.
Yeah, it really
Just
is.
like we're never releasing this game. We're just gonna keep doing updates. We're never gonna sell anything, and it's just like, I think it's gonna be it opened a door to like a new way of gaming.
Yeah, I
Because
think
Call
it really
of Duty's
did.
about to copy that. With their
Yeah, a lot
next-
of people are about to copy that. Rainbow Six Siege is about to copy that. Battlefield's about to copy that.
Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
like 100 people.
I think that they're doing some sort of battle royale.
Wow.
They're incorporating more people.
And what was the other one you said?
Battlefield.
Battlefield.
Battlefield 1.
Yeah, that'd be super easy to put into Battlefield.
Yeah, it would be.
'Cause they already have huge maps and everything.
Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. The updates for the World War II version that they're doing look incredible. Like, they're showing some gameplay now.
Really?
Oh, my God. It's going to take me back to the old Call of Duty days.
Nice.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's going to be exciting. But Battlefront, like the Star Wars Battlefront, they were talking about doing it too.
Jeez.
It's like everybody's jumping on the same bandwagon.
Yeah, that's how it
That's
goes.
one thing that I hate, because I had a lot of respect for Rainbow Six Siege whenever they came out, because it was just what was it, 5? Yeah, 5 teammates versus 5
5 on 5,
on
yeah.
5, and that was it.
It's a great concept.
Yeah, dude. And you have to be tactical with
Yeah.
it. You have to be like smart with the way that you're breaching your walls, and like that got my brain thinking, you know, instead of just like, oh, I'm gonna go see what my kill streak could
It's
be.
like a chess match.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, what is the best way to get this hostage out of this room? You know? Mm-hmm. But now it's like, freaking, whenever I started playing Modern Warfare 2, it was like, I just wanted to get the nuke. I just wanted to get 25 kills without dying. Mm-hmm. That's it. And so, like, now I think I've matured in my gaming. I've become a more mature gamer. Is what is
I
it?
get that. No, I was never big on Call of Duty because it's like you die every 5 seconds. It's just like, it was too intense for me.
Yeah.
So like I like the games. I've never even been big on multiplayer. Like I like the big, massive games, single player games where you get to
All right.
just discover things.
Yeah.
Because I've always been big on that, even as a kid. Because I never had like Xbox Live or anything. So I would just go find single player games.
And just play the crap
Yeah,
out of it.
I know it's Fallout, but just in the past.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, with like bows and arrows and spells and everything. It's dope.
dragons.
With dragons. Yeah, they just announced that they're gonna make they're gonna continue the story. So Skyrim was like number 5?
Yeah, that was like a sequel to Oblivion, right? Or
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, so the Elder Scrolls, they're gonna keep that Elder Scrolls like continuing on. And so all they showed like a 30-second clip of the map. And people started freaking out. They're like, "Oh my god!" And that was it. It didn't even show any gameplay, but it just took off. Everybody was like, "Holy crap, it's about to happen!"
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's so many video games I want to play. Like, I like to think that one day I'm just gonna, just play games. have a whole weekend where I just play games. But
Yep.
it's like it's so time consuming. And
Yep.
there's so many other things I want to do
Yeah,
that I want to invest my time in. And it's just like I'll get to it eventually.
yeah.
But I probably won't.
Whenever we were kids, it was just like, "Oh heck yes, I don't have school. I don't have any obligations. I can park it in front of the TV for 5 hours, do nothing but play video games," and it was so fulfilling. And then whenever we get into our like 20s, it's like, "Oh crap, I actually have to go get groceries."
Yeah, there's not enough hours in the day for everything I want to do.
Right. Yeah, dude, same. I've been feeling that the past few days, actually. Like, honestly, the past few days have been exhausting. I'm fixing to move houses. I'm fixing to move my studio, like all that kind of stuff. And so it doesn't leave me for a whole lot of quality, like, me time. Because
Yeah.
I'm heavily introverted whenever it comes to processing thoughts.
Yeah, I feel the same.
So I need time by myself to be like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to shut the world off for a little bit.
I like to write by myself.
Yeah, yeah, same. I'll go to Palace every once in a while, but I have to have headphones in.
That makes sense.
If I don't have headphones in, then I'm just like, I get kind of stressed out and I can't write because I'm
Yeah.
listening to this song and listening to this conversation over here and like,
That happens.
yeah. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I guess you got to go at 3, right?
Yeah. I gotta go. Cheer on my girl at the Coffee Champs.
Wait. Explain the coffee champs real quick. I've had to ask that.
Okay. Real quick.
And then we'll wrap up.
So, the way that it works is there's 3 different areas that you can go into. Well, technically 4 this year. There was a mocktail competition, which is with cold brew.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to make your cold brew drink. The second one was latte art. The third one is brewing. Okay, so you brew the best cup of coffee that you can, and then you hand it over to these judges. You tell them how you made it. You demonstrate as well. You hand them the coffee, and then they taste it and see how well it goes. And so, basically, they have this standard that they have for the coffee, and that is on a 1-to-6 ratio. 6 being perfect, 1 being unservable. Right? Mm-hmm. In between there,
unservable.
Yeah, unservable. Like, it's just terrible. They rate like mouthfeel, tactile, the smell, the bitterness, the sourness, what kind of flavor calls you've got coming in. And then some guys even go as far as getting a spectrometer in there to see if there's any particles left inside the coffee. Yeah, like it gets intense, dude. Like these guys are no joke about their craft.
Like sommeliers.
Yeah.
Is that how you say that?
And so I have no idea what that word even is.
It's like
so
a wine sommelier. There's like the people who's like,
yeah,
try this bottle. You know.
Yeah. Think about that, but just like pretentious coffee people.
Yeah. Interesting. And they're all hipsters too, huh?
All hipsters. All of them. That's all right. I'm one of them now.
I wear plaid in July.
So the next one is barista. So as a barista, some of your duties are engaging with a customer while also serving them a fantastic cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. Okay? So the first thing that you do is you introduce yourself to the judges. There's usually 2 or 3 of them sitting at the table watching your every move. You've got one person checking your cleanliness as you operate behind the bar. Mm-hmm. And then you have another person checking to see if you're wasting any milk.
That is so intense.
Very, very intense. So all of your moves, everything that you say, everything that you do has to be timed and calculated. So what you do is initially you go to a blind cupping, okay? During this blind cupping, you are given 4 different samples of coffee, and you get to choose between those 4 different samples. You don't know where they are. You don't know where they come from, what origin. Mm-hmm. You take that bean, they give you a sack of whole beans of that coffee that you choose, okay? They tell you where it came from, the meters above sea level that it was like planted and grown at, and then typically it'll give you like the company or the farm that it came from. So my girlfriend got I think it was Guatemala. Yeah, it was Guatemala from this
great beans.
Oh, dude, it smelled so good. Like she had the bag and I took a smell. I was like, oh my gosh, this smells amazing. And so it was called La Bendición, I think, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it means the blessing. So anyways, what she does is she practices with that and she dials into a good shot. She makes her own recipe to make a good shot of espresso. Mm-hmm. Okay? So now it's competition day. She's practiced. She's got all her stuff. She's got all of her parameters set. She goes out there. She addresses the judges, and they start timing her immediately. She goes along, and she's still keeping communication with the judges, letting them know what she's doing, what she's pulling the shot at. And so she pours the shot, okay? Hands it over to the judges and says, she describes the shot, says how it's going to feel in their mouth, what they're going to taste, and then some additional flavor calls to it, okay? So after that, she goes and she makes a cappuccino with the same recipe for the shot that they just tasted. So the only thing that you're adding is steamed milk, okay?
Okay.
Again, the entire time you're keeping communication with the judges as if you were to engage with a customer. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is all testing how well can you sell us on the coffee that you're making. How well can you talk to us and make us feel engaged with your process, as well as making us a dope-ass cup of coffee. right?
I think I'd be a great talker, but the coffee would taste like shit. But
Nah. It's once you get like kind of acclimated to the environment of like what it means to dial in and like how to develop your palate whenever you're tasting coffee, it actually gets really interesting. So one guy that I watched today, he was like, "Yeah, this espresso shot is gonna taste like green apple with a really citrusy front end. Like it's gonna have like a little bit of sourness to it, but as it cools off in your mouth, it's gonna taste like green apple."
Jeez.
With like a little bit of syrup in it. Okay. He came back with his cappuccino. So he used the same recipe for that shot, added the steamed milk, and he was like, all right, now that I've added the steamed milk in this cappuccino, it's going to taste like an apple pie with a side of ice cream.
He wins.
Dude, it was a spot on flavor call. Like he killed it. But yeah, so.
Did you taste it?
No. But the judges were like, yeah, that was really good.
Awesome.
They affirmed it. So.
When do they choose the winner?
So the way that they do it is they have these scorecards, right? So they score you based on your the way that you address the judges, all that kind of stuff that we went over, and they score you 1 to 6 on all of that stuff. Then what they do is they scan that scorecard, and the SCA is able to track who's having the best score.
Wow.
So theoretically, you should know how well you did like immediately after. They're going to scan that over to the like the big wigs, like the real big wigs that are up in like Seattle and all over the place. Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm excited to go cheer on this hot lady.
What does she win? Is there any type of prize?
So if you do well enough here, then you'll place and you'll go to regionals.
Oh, it's like the spelling bee.
Yeah. Then you go to like after that, I think it's like pre-finals or the semifinals and then the finals.
Is there are there any type of stereotypes with baristas, like, like Indians are better, Guatemalans are the best,
No, not necessarily with race, but like you can tell whenever someone comes in, like they carry this vibe of, yeah, I'd like a shot of espresso. I'm like, all right, cool. Or if somebody asks for a cappuccino, because a cappuccino is going to be more coffee forward. There's not going to be as much steamed milk as a latte. And so you're going to get more of the flavor calls from the espresso.
Does your girlfriend work at Palace also?
Yep.
Oh, is that how y'all met?
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
she works at the one in Canyon, and so I was going in there every day whenever I was studying to get my certificate to be a personal trainer, and that's how we met. And we just got to talking, whatever. We hung out a couple times, and I was dating somebody at the time. She was still talking to somebody at the time, but then we were just hanging out one time, and I was like, yo, I really like this girl. I'm about to kiss her. And so I did, and she was like, thank God you finally did that, because I've liked you for a while. And so
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. This has probably been like the funnest and easiest podcast I've had, dude. This has been awesome. We'll have to do it again.
Sure, man. Absolutely.
I feel like we have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah,
But
we totally do.
That was 2 hours, so
Bang.
good times. Thank you for listening, everybody. Have a good one.
We'll see you later.